Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I wholeheartedly offer whatever suits your time zone. It's another Blue Morning show, so I say Blue Morning to you, and welcome to the show. Today, we're going to talk about the eight promises or eight points pledged by the Ricketts family, and we'll also talk about the future of N'Golo Kante. So please don't go anywhere. Yes, blue morning to you all. I hope you're all doing well. And like I said before, today we will talk about the Ricketts family 8 points pledge, a promise if you prefer. But first, we'll have to establish the difference between promises and then pledges. And then also we'll talk about the future of N'Golo Kante. And more importantly, I hope everyone is doing well. And I'm happy to say that I have in the house today as the starting panelist, Nick Blue. Nick, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm fine. I had some sleep. I feel more awake now. I was a bit dead the last few days, last 2 weeks. I wasn't sleeping. I managed to sleep. I feel awake. Really
Yeah,
good.
it's been tense a few months for us, if you ask me. But it has the situation has heightened of late. It's become even more serious. So yeah, we'll talk about it. But first, we want to go through the panel, the chat, and see what people have to say there. The first comment on the screen is Mikhail. Blue morning to you, Mikhail. I hope you're doing well. He says no to the Ricketts, but it looks like they are already the selected ones. Buck has played a dirty role in determining the future of this club, expecting the worst and hoping for the best. Now, I wouldn't say that right now. I'm still very hopeful. Buck's behavior was very bad, and I'm glad that we pushed back immediately. We recognized how dangerous the meeting he set up with Paul Carneville and the Ricketts family. We recognized how bad and dangerous that was, and we didn't shut up. We spoke as loud as we could. So that is very important. So I haven't given up. I still have hopes that that will not happen. And Mikhail says that, yeah, Kesara, I said, right, what will be, will be. But indeed, I still believe it will be a good thing. And this is Tobago saying blue morning. And if you say, I will correct you there, it is still blue morning. Blue morning to you, Tobago. How are you doing? I hope you are doing well. Hit the like button, yes, people do. And this is my brother. Big up to you all. Ankit from Almighty Blues FC. And if you're watching, please make sure to go check out Almighty Blues FC. A great channel, great content. And that's why I become a brothers with him. And he says, well, there's still time till April 18. Apparently, no to the Ricketts until then, at least for me, unless they have a negligible stake in not and no board member, which can be. I think I understand your point. I'm still hopeful also. And Tobago says, Almighty, I have a bad feeling they might be honest. I don't want them, but this was planned ago now. They added someone who have money again. Also, those 8 points they made yesterday, why all of a sudden? Because they really want the club. And that's the scary aspect. Like I said yesterday, when I say it was like a person, a man going after a woman, and she's refusing you, and you're still going after him, following them wherever they go. It's become stalking at this point, but I don't think that will make any difference. We've established reasons, tangible reasons, that we don't want them, and I believe Roman by now must have heard about it. Marina must have heard about it. If anybody is corrupt, I think you could say just Bruce. Bruce, I haven't given up on all our representatives at the table, including Marina, Petacek, and the other people, because if this happens, they have a lot of questions to answer. So I don't think it's that simple to just give it to them, even if it was pre-arranged. Prashant Oshama say hi guys. Prashant, how are you? I hope you're doing well, and hopefully I said your name correctly. If not, do let me know in the chat. And note to the Ricketts says, Frizz, oh, nice to see you again, birthday boy. I hope you had a good one. This is, we still continue making it. We still have to keep saying it. Keep saying, don't stop saying it. If our efforts subside, they will see hope at the other end. Also, in case you've not subscribed, do consider doing so. Welcome to the channel, Chelsea Perspective family. Yes, if you haven't, please do like the video so that the Google algorithm will push the stream to more people who will enjoy this sort of video. And also make sure to subscribe if you haven't. It helps us. And also go check out Almighty Blues FC. Blue morning to you. Yes, that's how you say it. Hama Mbolu Olugbenga. How you doing, my brother? I hope you're doing well. Welcome to the show today. No to the Ricketts. Yes, Tobago. Don't give up. That's what you have to keep doing. Keep saying it. Keep hammering it. And then it will hit home eventually. Check CFC Delhi on Twitter. Idiot Ricketts family is flying the week in League Blue. We have to protest again. We just have to be strategic with the protest. And I prefer us not calling anybody names. If they are not good people, we should be good people from ourselves. Yes, we should protest even further if need be to make sure no, we're not giving up, or maybe the eight promises or eight pledges don't make any difference for us. Ricketts traveling, yeah, we've heard that too. Yep, we've heard that stuff. Protests has to continue. Yes, and not only to the Ricketts, flying to the potential owners will to London. Okay, I seen that. Coming to you, Nick, what do you think at this stage? They don't seem to be giving up. They're bent on becoming new Chelsea owners. Your thoughts?
Yeah, they're not giving up. And the thing is, they're becoming even strong. They're very strong now.
Mm-hmm.
The other guy who's, it's 22 billion. He's worth 22 billion, and he's coming with them. And I think Bruce Buck is the one who's pushing for them. He's definitely doing something. You can tell he hasn't come out and said a word with the fans. Nothing. He's been very quiet to the fans. And, he's definitely with them. He's backing them. He wants them. So the only hope we have, I keep saying, I tweeted it today as well. We mustn't give up. We need to protest even bigger. That Saturday wasn't nothing.
Mm-hmm.
We have to protest hard. I'm trying to get over to because the Chelsea Trust, the supporters trust,
Mm-hmm.
the 77% are against the Ricketts. And, I want them to come out and put a statement, organize a bigger protest. I'm trying to get across to them. I've written to them, they haven't replied to me. And the pitch on, we want to beat Chelsea like we are. Because if these Ricketts do get in, I tell you, it might be good for 2 or 3 years, the most. After that, you're going to see us go down, and we could become a mid-table team, or even worse, because they only invest in like Roman.
Mm-hmm.
They're there to make money. In the end of the day, they will rinse this club dry, like they did it with their own teams in America. We have to protest. I'll keep saying it, and I'll keep doing it as long as I can, but I can't do nothing by myself. I need people to come and join me to protest against them.
Yeah, we do need.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Yeah. That's what we need right now, because we can't.
Yes,
we can't chance for them to win this, and they have a good chance. They become favorites now. You know that.
Yep. Yeah, I do agree with you. The fact that they're still part of the process, the truth is that they have a chance to become the new owners of Chelsea Football Club. And that is really concerning. I don't know why it is like that. Again, they've become stronger, like you've mentioned, given, what's his name? The owner of the Cavaliers that joined them. He's a billionaire too. So even from the beginning, they've been one of the strongest financially. They've become even stronger financially, but I don't think it all comes down to how we reach the group. Is there are other factors that must be considered, and the fact that you mentioned that 77% of the supporters trust don't want them, are not convinced by them. That enough should be a good point for for the Chelsea contingent at the table there to say no, these guys are bad news for us. Our fans don't want them. The supporters group don't want them. 77%. That's more than that's a large number. That's a lot. Even though like we established the other day we want the number to be slightly higher, but it is what it is. Still, it is high. So we'll start in a bit. Let me go through the chart. We'll go talk about the points one by one and see if we can read meaning into it. And it is frightening. It scared the heck out of me because I was just watching the Twitter sphere yesterday. Some Chelsea fans, after reading the 8 points, were beginning to go, "Oh, if that's the case, well, I'm willing to give them a chance." That surprised me. If you're in the chart, please let me know if you're willing to give the Ricketts a chance because of the eight promises or plan that they released yesterday. Let me know if you're one of those that are willing to give them a chance because of those. Nick, I want to get your thoughts on people who all of a sudden changed their mind because of the carefully worded and then strategically constructed, very well constructed 8 promises, because it can get into the minds of those that have been complaining. Nobody talked about what they've done in the past anymore. They're beginning to say, I think he could be good. I think he could be good. Even Eunice, some content creators, no need to mention name, said, he's saying it's going to be the Ricketts, and given the plans they have, it doesn't look bad and all this and all that. Your thoughts,
Yeah.
Nick?
Yeah. Yes. First of all, I'd like to correct you about Eunice. Eunice is more or less saying what I'm saying right now. He said, yeah, they have money, they make good 8 points, what they want to do. First one, rebuild the bridge.
Mm-hmm.
They want to invest in the team, they're saying.
Mm-hmm.
They want to do everything what we want. That's what they're saying. But can we trust them? No. Eunice is saying that as well. He's not saying he's behind them. He's saying they're favourites. And, me, it's no good just going on Twitter saying, hey, well, no to the Ricketts and hashtag no to the Ricketts. That will get nowhere again. If we don't turn up in our thousands at the bridge, we have, very low chance of winning, and they're going to be the new owners. We have to do the same as we did with the Super League. Make Pinochet come out, make the board come out, show our disgust.
Well, let me say this. We have to be truthful here, Nick. First of all, the turnout for the protest wasn't exactly what you had in mind and what we expected. We even thought it was going to be bigger than the protest against the Super League, but the turnout was even lower. Even you could say 4 times lower, something like that. But that's by the way. I'm really concerned that after that 8-point pledge that they released, the Ricketts family released, lots of Chelsea fans, that melted their hearts. Lots of them, if you go to Twitter, they're saying, this is really good. I think I'll give them a chance. And surprisingly, there's a content creator also who said something similar. And that moved me to tears because which means we could easily be convinced to trust in somebody who would, lead us to relegation if that's the case. Your thoughts on how easily people change their minds?
Yeah, you know why they change their minds? Because they're hearing all these talk, all the good, 8 points are very good. It sounds brilliant. Everyone, we're up for that. Yeah, but it doesn't mean they're going to do it. They're just talking. Doesn't mean a thing what they're saying. I don't believe it. I don't believe or trust them. And even Eunice said the same. He didn't say. He said they're favourites because of all the points they're making. But he said down the line, in the long run, it could backfire and we could become like Man United and Arsenal, even worse than them 2 clubs. We could be really down, if we let these people take over. And a lot people are thinking, oh, great. Even me, when I saw the things they said, Oh, brilliant! That's what we all want. They're only doing that to get Chelsea fans on their side. That's what they're doing. They're trying to be clever.
Yeah. And first of all, again, so you have to understand these guys are very strategic in their approach. I think they are business savvy, first of all. And then I think they've been able to mash up politics and business approaches together, because politics, it works very well in business if you know how to like balance politics and business. You can help it to get great results, and I think they're doing that. Something else I think they did, I think their plan to bring in the new entrant into their consortium, it wasn't planned today, but they understood before releasing the statement that they are bringing in someone else. It's a distraction, and it really did distract people. For a bit, people stopped talking about the past of the Ricketts family. People started talking about the new guy that joined their group, how much it's worth, and how stronger they've been. So, to me, strategically, I'd say it's a distraction, and it was well played by them because they are business savvy, and they do, you know, they're into politics too. So they played it very well, and it's working. And we're still at that. We're still talking about the new entrant into their consortium. Boom! They just released another statement. They're playing it perfectly. There's no even space to start talking about their past again. Now we're talking about the 8-point plex that they've released. So they're that good. It's really working for them. So I'm going to go through the chat, and then we're going to start talking about analyzing the 8 points. But first, I want to put the link to the panel in the chat so that whoever wants to join can join. So, Nick, while I'm doing that, let me know what you think about the 8 points or any part that stood out for you then before we start analyzing it.
Yeah, what stood out for me, they said they're going to redevelop the Stamford Bridge and try and make it, you know, so, but they can't. They cannot. The most, like Roman planned before, the most we can redevelop is going to be like 63,000 capacity. They want to make it more, and they can't. If they say they're going to make it more, what's that mean? Are they thinking to build a new stadium to make it more? We can't trust them. I'll keep saying it. And you're spot on. They're just doing this to distract the main issues with their racist views. That's what they're doing.
Yeah, and they're doing it perfectly well. They're doing it perfectly well. It's a strategy that's used in politics. When people start talking about something, you can distract them with something else that, you know, that's also equally huge. Now we'll keep them talking, and then they'll stop talking about you for a bit. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, that's why, Coach, is very important, because it's not just me who understand what's going on. There's a lot of people that think the same. There's a lot, but we have to come out and show it. It's not just putting tweets on Twitter and everything, people giving me a like. We need to go up there, you know, thousands. I keep saying it. And the sooner the better. I speaking to Jem today privately. He thinks the same. He said we have to hold on for this week and see what happens this week with the talks, when they talk to the support group and everything. And, you know, all right, we wait another week, the week at most. If we wait any longer, that's it. We're done. So I'll give it up this week, but no more, you know, no more.
Yeah, I see that. I think let me quickly breeze through the chat, and then we will analyze those 8 points. I want Tobago says I want Todd Bowley. I think after my research, I think I'd prefer the Martin Broughton group, not the Todd Bowley group. But I wouldn't say no to the Todd Bowley group. They're equally good. Just a note to the Ricketts. Tobago said my other problem with the Ricketts, they are 4 or 5 of them plus Ken Griffin and then Dana. Nah, that's a bad. Well, they're all consortiums now. I think their numbers don't make a difference. You have also my research show in the case of a sporting team, you will have a sporting director or something similar, or a similar post in the structure of the team. I think the decision are done. They don't need to sit and make a decision on what. They don't need a vote from the people that make up the consortium to decide on what the club does or what the club shouldn't do. Okay, good afternoon. Yeah, good afternoon to you too, Mohammed Razaik Hassan. I hope you're doing well. And more importantly, blue morning to you. Second, Radon, okay, good to hear that. And good luck with everything. Tobago Boli are 5-2 exactly. So the numbers don't really make any difference. Chelsea should sign right back this summer. Again, that doesn't align with the topic at hand here. And we have Sid join us today. Sid, how are you doing?
I'm fine. How are you doing?
Brilliant. I can't complain. Always good to see that you have time to join us. I think that means a lot to us. And Olupol says, good morning, Olupol. It is a blue morning. Could Romana be doing something behind the scenes that we don't know of involving Bruce Buck and the Ricketts? That's a possibility, but that's not something I can say here objectively because I'm not sure what's going on. I can only speculate. There's no way to tell what goes between what Roman is doing and what he isn't doing. Let's see here. DJ Saab, nice to see you here, brother. I hope you're doing well. No chance they don't want the Ricketts anywhere near the club. I believe so too. And Londoners don't care if Ricketts buy Chelsea FC. Low turnout protests showed it plainly. I think that's the case if you ask me. But I want to let Nick comment on that. Nick, the comment on the screen says, from the guy says, Londoners do not care if Ricketts family buy Chelsea Football Club. And evidence is the fact that it's just the low turnout itself. It's proof of that.
Yes, yeah, I know, Mikel. You're spot on. That's the problem. The only way we can get try and get the crowd to come up there in the thousands is through the main supporters groups we have. We have a lot. We have a lot, but they have to get together with us. And then if they do, then you will see thousands of us. But that's what I'm trying to get across to them. I don't want to leave it too late, like I'll keep saying, and then we're going to end up in a mid-table club and maybe fighting for relegation if we leave it to them. So we have to do what we can. I can only do certain things like you saw Saturday. But it wasn't enough. 200 people wasn't enough. That's the problem.
Yeah, 200 it wasn't enough given the size of the club. Seed, let me quickly go through the chat and I'll come to you. And it says, London said, okay, we've read that. If Ricketts were removed on the group, yes. It says London is more interested in headed to bars with friends pre-game. Possible. I'm not there. Nick knows that very well. Entered my mind, bro. Yep, I see that. And what's the other one? Says they are changing their minds because they can see the Ricketts family are being favorites from the start. That's not, and when you're really fighting for something you want, notions, narratives, or whatever you see from the other party, shouldn't be enough, to discourage you to keep going for what you want. It's more right now. It's more like I think it's gradually become a marathon. And since it's become a marathon, it's not a race. You need to be patient, and you need to be patient. That is in your approach. You need to also keep pushing. You don't just stop because you see the others. It seems to you that the others are ahead of you. That is a dangerous mindset. The best mindset to have is to know that it's a marathon. They haven't won yet. It might look like as if they're ahead, but that doesn't mean they've won. It's more like in a football game. It doesn't mean whoever scores first. It's 90 minutes, but whoever scores in the 6th minute will not go ahead, doesn't usually go ahead and win the game. So if they score in the 6 minutes, you have a chance to equalize and also win. So I want us to have that mindset that mindset, the fact they've added somebody to their team doesn't mean they've become the new owners already, and doesn't make them the favorite. The fact they put out the 8 points plan doesn't also make them the favorites. We have to keep pushing. If we give up, they see that our pushback has subsided, and then they'll be emboldened, and before you know, they become the new Chelsea owners. But that cannot happen if we keep us, if we keep, pressuring them, letting them know you're not wanted here. And Olupol says, I think what changed their minds even more was because another very rich person joined their group. That's a possibility, but that's scary. That means we don't know what we want. Your thoughts on this comment on the screen, Sid?
I think the Rock Entertainment Group was bought because they want to increase their face value, their reputation, because they are having a good time in running a
Mm,
sports franchise, and Ricketts are not having a good time. Yesterday, I also spoke about that they are not having a good time in running a sports club. Their Chicago Cubs, they burnt it to the ground. The heritage of the club is destroyed. It's just a money making machine there.
hmm Yeah, that's all they care about. All they care about is money. Nick, do you think it was because the Rock Entertainment Group joined the Ricketts Consortium? Is that the reason why most people changed their mind and now supports them?
Yeah, he is part of the reason. Yes, yeah, that's one.
So basically, we're selling our souls.
Yes, that's what. But that's one of the reasons. They think that the other reason, 8 points they made, and they
Mhm.
sound, it sounds so nice, but would they keep the problem?
Yeah, I think you're having a sound issue. You're breaking up really badly. But
Yeah, I
yeah,
think
go ahead now. I think we can hear you.
someone's mic is on. Yeah, I can hear something in the background. Can you hear?
Yeah,
Can
well, I think we're fight. It's
let me
we can't hear you. We've lost you, Nick. I hope
let me go
maybe
in
you.
and out again.
Okay, go ahead. That will work. We will start reading the points one by one and try as much as we can to analyze them each to see what they mean. And if you're in the chat, let us know what you think each of the points mean. So here we go. Let's get into it immediately. The first number one point says they say they're promising. Again, if it's a pledge, then it's more formal. When it's a pledge, it's when it's a promise. A promise is usually not formal in terms of when in the business world. Promise is not formal. Pledge is best used, and I'm not sure what language they use here. Let me see if I'll see it before I zoom out on this. It's important to see what language they use. It just says the Ricketts family's commitment to Chelsea, an 8 point pledge. So a pledge is more formal. It's stronger than a promise. I wouldn't say so. A promise isn't really the correct term to refer to it. So they used the word pledge, which is a stronger term than a promise. Promise is not usually used in the business world because it's not really formal. So first, they say that they will make no change to the club's name, badge, and crest or Chelsea blue without the consent of the supporters. So I want to ask those in the chat: is that even possible in the first place? Is that something that can an owner can change easily? Let me know if
No.
it is something you understand very well. It'd be interesting to see what people in the chat will say. So coming to you, Sid, what do you think about the first point?
It's just a basic introduction that we are not going to change color, badge, or the design or the name Chelsea, which is not possible in the first place. No one is going to do that because it's a global brand. So no one is going to touch the name or the badge there. So it's
Mm-hmm.
just a nice formal way to start your pledge.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. I think it's already it's a global brand, and the branding. That is, if you know how branding works, it's not easy to change the color, of a team or change the crest easily like that. It's a long process. Even if you want to change the color, that is the primary color of a team. you start introducing the colors gradually, then you can go fully in and that takes a while. It takes years. So it doesn't make sense for them to even talk about that they will not change the colors from blue to any other color. It's an argument that I do not understand. And please, while you are in the chat, if you see any new member, please say welcome to them. And I think here we have Lane, I think he's new here. And if this is your first time, Liam, welcome to Chelsea Perspective. And please do make sure to subscribe and also click on the like button to help us push the stream to more people who would be interested in consuming this sort of content. He says, "Hi guys from Ireland. What worries me is why the Bali beat is so quiet. Are they resigned to losing the beat?" Before we continue, Sid, can you quickly answer this question? But to me, I'd say no. I think they're being strategic in their approach to. I don't think they're resigned to losing the beat, and I think they have the best plan than the Ricketts. What your thoughts are, Sid?
I think they are not focusing on media work. They are just doing the things in the background, like they were meeting the person who was about to redevelop Stamford Bridge, which was failed in 2018. They are doing the work quietly behind the scenes, and they are ensuring that they are on the right path. Unless in media work, like giving statements like Tom Ricketts.
Yeah, they've not been given statements like Tom Ricketts are doing. I think they're doing their things quietly, and I think that's good. So let's go. So let me see if we have any input from the chat. If you're in the chat, let us know what you think about the first point that we just read. Do I have anything here? I think I saw something from Mikhail. Let me see. Let us know what you think about the first point. Okay, this is here says Ricketts family might not pass Premier League director owners test. Yeah, exactly. There are a lot of stuff that gives us hope. One of them being the vetting that's going to be done by the Ricketts family. That's one of the things that gives us hope. And blue morning to you, Ludishenko. How are you doing? I hope you're fine. I know you're in Ukraine. We'll continue to pray for you, my brother. And this is the Ricketts will be so emboldened if they win at the bid. They will feel the supporters went behind them. They will do whatever they like because it is their gold diggers, I think. Yeah, let me know again. We just read the first points. Let me know what you think about the first points. It says, I know people change hairstyles, change hairstyles change. Okay, I know people change. Hairstyles change. But why can't they go change elsewhere? Why must they bring their baggage to Chelsea Football Club? That's another good way to put it. Again, like we've established, I think the first point is irrelevant because changing it's a global brand. Like Asid here said, it's not going to be easy to do that in the first place. So that's not even changing the colors or the crest of Chelsea Football Club. That will take years. And Cardiff in Hull did. Ken Bates changed the badge, so did Roman. But it wasn't drastic. He changed the badge, but it still has elements of the old one. And and the badge needed to be changed anyway. The older ones were, if you ask me, weren't the best. It needed to be modernized. But changing the color of the club isn't something that you can do with a snap of a finger. It takes time. It's a brand, and you don't change brands easily like that. Nick, let me ask you something. Regarding the first point. Nick went out again. So let's just go straight. Let me try to continue reading the comments in the chat. When Nick comes back, I want to get his thoughts on the first point here. Olupo says the Ricketts will be okay. We've read that one again. Let us know what you think about the first point on the screen. And let's see, there are only two left. It's probably Seed and his. I'm not sure what the staff is saying here. For the first point, does it account for the stadium name, etc.? I think that's part of what they're saying. They're not going to change the stadium name and all that. And these are things, if you ask me, they're not really possible. Or let me just be on the safe side to say these are things that are not easy to do. Like Sid here has explained, it is a global brand, especially when you talk about the color of the club and the badge. It will take time. It's not that simple. And branding these days has become very important to businesses. And Chelsea, first of all, is a business, so they must be careful on how they tamper with the brand. Um, oh, the creaking sound is from the host. You think, okay, I'll try to do something about it. Not sure why they wouldn't pass the checks, especially if the Ricketts are not a major shareholders. Let me ask you this before we read the point number two, Seed. The comment on the screen saying, not sure why they would not pass the checks. Your thoughts?
I think if the Ricketts would have been the face, they can also pass the test easily because they are firstly from not from any war zone country, which is the first point. That's why Saudi bid was not taken, and also they are easily uh, conventional towards the time, in the time frame that they can take over the Chelsea bid, so they can
Mm.
pass the test easily.
Mm. Hey, oh my goodness, this is really funny. Fraser says, Coachila, Tom Ricketts made this statement in an iPhone, not serious. It is serious. It's already changing some people's mind. If you were following the story yesterday, we're seeing some serious Chelsea fans, some of whom I know, some of whom I'm friends with, starting to you know they're starting to align up with the Ricketts movement, saying if these are good, then they give them a chance. And Dolu, thank you for the sound thing. I think it was because the microphone is still plugged into power, so that causes it to make that noise. It took Cardiff City 5 minutes to change from blue to red. Well, Cardiff is not Chelsea. I'd argue that Chelsea
It's
is
not a
bigger than
global
Cardiff.
brand.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Cardiff isn't really a global brand. Chelsea is a global brand. It would not be simple to change the color. Everything about Chelsea is blue, 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 blue is the color. Keep, check everything, everything, the songs, everything. It won't be that simple. It's not easy to change a brand. It's not even to make the slightest of changes to a brand. And Chelsea is a global brand. And again, no disrespect to Cardiff, but Chelsea is bigger than Cardiff. And Cardiff, you could argue, is a global brand. And if you want to join the panel, declare the link to the panel is in the chat. So let's go straight to the second point. Maybe when Nick comes back, he would join us. On the panel. The second point says we will never participate in a European Super League and always protect the integrity and heritage of Chelsea Football Club. Your thoughts on that point, Sid?
I think never joining is a much longer time frame. They can say that in near future because if the money comes about 400 million for joining, Americans are going to join anyway. All the American owners in the Premier League of the top six are going to join anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with you, and I like your answers are very, very snappy and straight to the point. I do like that sort of conversation. It makes perfect sense. I think this is no guarantee. It's not an agreement. This is even
Yes.
yes, a pledge is different. A pledge is different from a promise. A pledge is more formal and more acceptable in a business sense, in a business environment. But the fact that it's just a pledge and they're not obliged, to fulfill it. That's the truth. And
The
like you
person
mentioned, go ahead.
the person who has made it has it made in iPhone notes. I am also using iPhone, so I know that. That's why I was laughing on another comment. I just came to know that yes, it's made in iPhone notes.
Yep, yep. Thank you for that point. Just again, it's a pledge, like I was saying. And a pledge doesn't mean nothing is signed. It's not on paper. It's not an agreement. It's not signed, sealed, and they're not obliged to fulfill that aspect. And like you mentioned, if tomorrow, the Super League, it's about that is resurrects. If he resurrects and they say Chelsea, if you participate, you get $400 million. I don't see the Ricketts family saying no. So this is just something They know. I think they did their research, and they understand that Chelsea fans were outraged that we were part of the now, you could say, dead at this point, now dead, the European Super League. So somebody say this, and it will get to them. And yeah, it did. People are beginning to align themselves with the Ricketts movement because they say, because of this, the second point here, and that's concerning to me. This is somebody. It's like in a business world, for instance, if you have very important or potential, business partner coming, your research includes finding out what they like, what they don't like. You want to make them feel at home. You want to make them feel like you know them very well. And if you do these things, going into business with them usually becomes much easier. So these guys, like I've established before, they're business savvy. They've been in business their whole life, from their father to them. They understand how business work, and they know politics too. And now they are working the Chelsea fans with a mashup, a strategy that's a mashup of politics and business savviness, and it's working. So they already know that Chelsea fans hated being part of the Super League. Chelsea fans, I think they had the strongest protest then. That was why we say we saved football. Yeah. So they know this point, the second point, will hit home. And indeed, it hits home. So that's, to me, no, it doesn't matter. That's common sense. They will say that already. And let me go through the comment again. And staff says, it used to be blue, white, a shirt, or blue socks. Don't kid yourself. The brand is the name. The color is part of the brand. Brand is the staff. You and I can argue this tomorrow. I understand what you mean, that they could easily change it, but I think they will be creating more problems to themselves because it won't be that simple. It will not be that easy to change the color of the shirt to any other color. So Nick, coming to you quickly, Nick, I'll go through the chat and I'll come back to you and ask you a question regarding the first point, and then we'll move on to the second point. I get your point, Stav, again, and then never participate in the current European Super League. If UEFA accepts the proposal and makes changes, Chelsea surely joins it. That's another point, another great point there. Once UEFA aligns to the Super League, Chelsea will join it. So again, we've established it's a pledge. They're not obliged to fulfill it. Again, like Sid here said, which makes perfect sense, if the Super League offers 400 million to be part of it, most definitely Chelsea would join it, and the Ricketts wouldn't care. And even whoever, even Barley, even the Martin Broughton, won't care what you think. It's big money for the club and it's business to them. Here, Lady Senka say, may I ask who wrote this statement? Yeah, good question. It is it is from our suitors. Those guys that want to marry us, and we don't want the marriage, but yet they're finding a way to convince the family members that it will be a good marriage. But indeed, I think it's one that's already doomed even before it starts. My question now is, how did the Ricketts know so much about Chelsea within a short time, especially with the European Super League? It's no secret that Chelsea were very, very vocal against it. Chelsea fans were vocal against the Super League, and this statement, its construct, the structure, the words, everything are designed to get into the heads of Chelsea Football Club fans, and we're already falling for it. If you go to Twitter, you see Chelsea fans are already falling for this statement, and it was well crafted. They're intelligent. They're not stupid. Those guys are very, very smart people, and that's why they're billionaires. They didn't just become billionaires by being stupid. So make no mistake, they're very smart and they know what they're doing. First of all, more conspiracy theories find other proof. There's an insider big problem. That's a possibility. Charity FC showed up on Sunday. TT will need to jolt the complacency and international break mental fog out of this squad before Benzema and co embarrass us like Brentford done. I don't think Real Madrid will even play as good as Brentford did against us. If maybe they'll try to employ, the same approach, but I think they will falter if they do, because Tuchel is smart enough. I think he would change things around, and I think lots of changes will be made on that day too. I'll come back to you, Sid. Let me just go through the chat. Proof is already said by Jacob Ben about Bruce Buck was Ricketts. Okay, that's an issue again. Chelsea signed an agreement with UEFA, as did all the English club. The UK government are against the Super League. No license. UEFA won't change. Again, I think I understand your argument, and you're probably correct. This is all set up by Bruce Buck and the Ricketts family. So how do I need a proof when many journalists just said the same? It's been like this from the start. It sounds corrupt to me. Again, you have every reason to question the process. First of all, the fact that after all the pushback from the fans, the media, not really the media, and the journalists who are aligned to Chelsea Football Club, they still haven't given up. That shows you, like I've argued on this show, somebody is telling them, don't go anywhere, don't mind them. You will eventually become the new owners of Chelsea Football Club, because any sensible businessman who understand the important not to spend if you cannot get the return on your investment would give up at this point, but they're not giving up, and that is really concerning. But I'm still hopeful. Your thoughts on this comment on the screen, Sid?
I think Bruce Buck. I hate Bruce Buck. You know from the earlier streams that I don't like this man, and I think he's the one, the insider man who is supporting the Ricketts bid. And surely he's going to get a good payout if Ricketts won the bid, or he's going to keep his job, because it's most likely that no other bidder from the four shortlist is going to keep him after that, because they knew that the regulation were breached, because no one was allowed to meet a Chelsea executive until April of 4th. That is from today. That's why Tom Rickett is again flying today to London to meet with other bidders, also trying to meet Chelsea executive and board.
Yeah, I think you make a good argument. None of the group that is the structure says none of them should meet with the club executive or something until the 18th. And Bruce Buck went ahead and did what he did anyway. So that's a reason enough to question the whole process. If you ask me, it just doesn't make sense. That meeting, I don't know, and it gets worse when you realize, wait, Bruce Buck is a lawyer. So why did he even do that? But that's, by the way, like Bobby said yesterday, Bruce Buck is always like that uncle, that old uncle that will always come to a gathering and then disgrace you one way or the other. I think that's what it is. Nick Blue, coming to you. I'll take you back a bit and then let you catch up with us. We were discussing the second point before you joined. The first point reads that they will make no change to the club's name, badge, and crest or Chelsea Blue without the consent of the supporters. Is that even I know Stav is in the comment and he's arguing they can do that if they want. But being somebody who's been part of a business, I've worked for some businesses, and I know these days changing a brand isn't that simple, because research has shown the importance of maintaining brands and the importance of not tampering with brands. You come in, Nick.
Yeah, can
Nick,
you hear?
Yeah, go ahead.
You hear me now, yeah? Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you crystal clear.
I saw that statement, and that really got to me. That's another statement from them. So, like you said, if they want to, they can try and do that. They can do that, but it won't be Chelsea's name, because Chelsea's name is they can't change that. They can go somewhere else. Go somewhere else and call themselves London FC, whatever, Hammersmith FC, or something else. But they can't take Chelsea because that's with a pitch owners and the Chelsea supporters.
Yeah, I think Nick has a very poor connection today. Nick, can you still hear me? All right, Declan, I'm going to come to you. Welcome to the panel today. How are you doing, brother?
How you doing?
I don't
Good
know what's
morning.
going on with my.
Maybe just you can go
Yeah, I don't
try
know
and
what's going on
reboot
with
your.
my.
But we can hear you now. Go ahead. Go ahead. You were saying something.
Yeah, yeah. I was saying that it sounds like they might want to do that the way they're talking. It's just to say
Mhm.
if we want, we can move out of here, make a different name. But that that won't be very good. That will backfire on them. They can
Yeah.
try, but as far as I'm concerned, Chelsea Football Club is Stamford Bridge, and it always will be
Mhm.
to our die, and maybe to the young generation as well. It still be Stamford Bridge because that's the whole point on having the pitch owners. They can't
Mhm.
take that away from us. Whatever they do, they have money, they have whatever, but they can't take the name. So let them try if they want.
Yeah. And let me explain something. Because the fact is, first of all, they can try, but it's not going to be easy. That's the point I'm making. It's like a seed here said, and it's important. You don't have to be a business executive. All you have to be is, even if you've been a designer,
Yeah,
if you've been like a website designer, a website developer, or a graphic designer, you understand these days brand is everything. The
yeah,
slightest change you make your brand can affect your pocketbooks.
yeah. So
That's the truth.
they
And
must.
especially we're talking about a global brand, which is
Yeah.
Chelsea Football Club. They
So
can
long.
try. Yeah, I know staff told me it took 5 minutes to change that of Cardiff. But this is Chelsea. It will not
Yeah.
be that easy. It will
No.
actually cost a lot of money to change brands, to
Yeah.
make amendments to brands. That is one thing. So I'm not saying it's not possible. It's possible, but it will cause more problems to them than if they leave it as it is. And the fact is, it's not that simple.
It's like Sam said
Mhm.
a few weeks ago. We were talking about Wimbledon and
Mhm.
MK Dons. Look what happened to them. And eventually, they're going back to Plough Lane, their sacred ground. So that's what the fans want. So
Yeah.
let them. If they try, I don't think they. I don't know with these people because anything's possible. But that's what they're trying to get across. They're saying we're going to do this, we're going to do that, and once they come in, they're going to try and change everything.
Mhm.
That that's
Mhm.
why.
So
Yeah,
go ahead, Nick. Go ahead if you're still saying something.
I said that's why we have to stand up and try and get across and get to thousands at the bridge.
Mhm.
I just
So, yeah, we'll talk about that. We'll end
yeah,
with that note so that we're sure everybody's on the same page. So that we must go to those that have access to that are live close by can join the protest so that our voices can be heard even louder. Declare coming to you. What do you think about the first point? Do you want me to read it again for you, or you already saw it?
Are we going through point by point?
Yeah, we're going point by point. Yeah.
Um, the first point, right, is the theme of the whole thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's basically I'm not doing anything. I'm not gonna do the things that I wasn't gonna do and the things that you were gonna get upset about. So he just turned into things that he wasn't gonna do into something. Like as
Mm-hmm.
if anyone was gonna come in and straight away change the Chelsea crest and that. They can't.
Mm-hmm.
Steph's right. They can do it, right? I mean, it's going to cost money. You're right, and there's going to be uproar by the fans, right? There is no
Mm-hmm.
reason to. It's not like it's outdated or anything. There's no reason to change the brand. You know what I mean? And I don't think
Mm-hmm.
anyone that comes in wants his first one of his first actions is to change something. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So he's just changed. He just said, "I'm gonna not do this," which he was never gonna do.
Mm-hmm.
And if you go through all those dot points, he's turned nothing into something. And I don't know how people are buying this. I don't know how like as if I didn't think anyone would like it convinced anyone. I'm surprised that you said there's actually people out there that are
Oh,
actually
you haven't
in favor
seen?
of this. No,
You
I
haven't
read
seen
it.
people. Okay, go
I read
ahead.
this and then I just said, this is dumb. Look at the first point. I'm not going to change anything. I'm not going to join
Mm-hmm.
the Super League. I'm not gonna do this, and I'm gonna commit to the same thing we're committing. You know what? That's so vague, right? The commitment one, because the commitment one is if recently our finances have been pretty, we sold a lot and we brought
Mm-hmm.
in. The books were actually balanced. If he's saying that I'm going to do the same thing, he can just say, "Yeah, I'm doing the same thing." We're
Mm-hmm.
spending less. We have to sell to less, and then he can cherry pick. It doesn't mean nothing. None of this means anything. But you know what? I'll entertain it. Let's go point by point. My
Mm-hmm.
my view on the first point is that he, he he was never, and any owner never wanted to do that, and he just made
Mm-hmm.
number one point that I'm not gonna do the thing that I wasn't gonna do, and so no get upset.
Okay. No, point number two, declared. Your thoughts. Point number two says never participate in a European Super League and always protect the integrity and heritage of Chelsea Football Club. Your thoughts on points number two.
Same
Point
on
number
point
two.
one. You would be dumb to come in after seeing what happened not long ago, right? To say I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
join the Super League. But having said that, once everyone starts joining, right? Well, we have to join. We'll have to join. Everyone else was joining. That was the same excuse they gave last time. Well, everyone else was joining, so we have to join. And so there's no weight on that. And it's not. And you, and all he's saying is that he doesn't want to be the front runner because Chelsea were the first to protest. So you'd be kind of dumb to come in and try to push for this to be one of the leaders to push the Super League.
Yep, and
They
that
are
has
just
always been my
feeding us with.
argument. These guys, like, sorry, you wanted to say something, Sid? Go ahead.
No, they are just feeding us with things that we know they are not going to do, or they are so dumb to do that.
Ex- That's the point. Yes, you and Declad, you both just hit the nail right on the head. Something we know they cannot do, or something we know it'd be too dumb if they do it. Declad, before you joined us, we've talked about it would be dumb for them because already they know that Chelsea fans were the most vocal against the Super League. So they
Yep.
know if they say that we're not going to join the Super League, the common Chelsea fans who doesn't, analyze information before they make decisions will say, "Oh, this is good." You get the point. They're not stupid. They're very smart people. So this is so surprising to me that some people, after reading this whole thing, are warming up to them, and that's really concerning. The Clad. That is really concerning. So let's move. Nick, let me get your thoughts on the second point. What do you think?
Yeah, that's it's very funny, that second point. All right, they're not
Mm,
going to join the Super League because they know they can't do that. The fans will go crazy. But it doesn't stop them from joining another different league. How do we know what they're thinking?
mm-hmm,
It might not be a Super League, it might be something else. So
mm-hmm.
I don't trust them. I keep saying it. We have
And,
to do
and, and
everything.
remember, the Clad, a seed here said, if they say, okay, the Super League, if it's worth that, is to say, okay, you know what, we're gonna make it a four. You get 400 million if you join. That they'd happily do that.
100%.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Go
it's
on,
just like
sorry.
Nick said. They can call it something else. Like, but end of the day, yeah. It's another point that we're never gonna do. You know what I mean? Imagine an owner
Mm-hmm,
just joins and then goes, "Well, I'm gonna join the Super League." I mean,
mm-hmm,
every owner that's gonna come in, or any new owner, is trying to win the fans. For you to do the first and second point, right, is suicidal. You're gonna have everyone turn on you straight away. It's the dumbest thing you can. That's why they're nothing points. They'll never their intentions anyway. No new owner would come in and want to do both of them, but he can do both of them, and we could be powerless to do so. But he made 2 points as if, oh, I'm never going to do this and I'm never going to do that.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And you know what?
Yeah.
Just on the financial sense, just the way he runs the Chicago Cubs and doesn't want to spend money, changing changing the brand, right, would cost money, and he wouldn't want to do that. And then come to Super League, and when he has more money, of course he's going to join. Why wouldn't he join?
He would be the first one to join, if I'm not wrong. From here, after Manchester United, he would be the first one to join.
Yeah,
Yep.
because
There will be.
this is one thing about, and this is why like everyone was more no to it's not that it's anything. It's It's about their sporting culture. All their sports are Super League is very normal to them. Even here in Australia, it's the same. They copied them, right? And even we have a culture of knockout, a playoff system and stuff like that, right? And even they changed football here into a Super League as well, right? It is very normal for places like where I am and America to have the same format, which is referred to the Super League. So that's why to the Ricketts, it's very normal.
Let's look at this contribution from Stav on the screen. He says Chelsea signed an agreement with UEFA, as did the other English clubs. The UK government are against the Super League. No license. UEFA won't change. So now this is important also. So I'm sure they were aware of this, and probably they were aware that most Chelsea fans are poorly educated in terms of what happened after we pulled out of the Super League. So, but they did add it to the to one of the points of the things that they will not do, because they will still get to some people. Your thoughts on this, Declan?
That I did hear about that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there was like the punishment was getting kicked out and a fine or a whole bunch of stuff. That once they get a lot of people, I think everyone will break that agreement.
Mm-hmm.
They'll be happily break that agreement.
Yeah, that's a way. They can actually find a way. There's always a loophole in every agreement. They can always find a way, maybe rename it, because the current name is European Super League. Except if the agreement in place, what they signed, is done in a way that is too vague that they cannot even do anything else. So yeah.
Once the big clubs get together, what are you going to do? Cut them all out? Imagine cutting the top 6 teams out. Some of the biggest clubs all around Europe, if they all agree, you can cut them out. They don't care. They just make their own league, and they'll be the most watched league.
Okay, now let's read the next point here. The next point says, maybe I have to scroll up a bit. Let me just keep us like this. It says, commit. That they will commit to the resources necessary across all levels of the club to continue winning trophies, including investing in the first team, experience of football leadership, and the academy. Okay, what were you gonna do in the first place if you can't do these things? But this is hilarious. But I'm gonna come back to it anyway. Yeah, it is very vague. But again, what were you gonna do? Were you gonna buy the club and not commit, the resources necessary? Were you gonna buy it and say, okay, no, it's not possible in the first place. Let me just breeze through the comments here. This is all set up by Bruce Buck and the Ricketts family. So how do I need approval? Okay, this is Simba responding to staff. They will join the Super League. We already know that. From what we learn from staff right now, that's not possible at the moment. They'd have to find a way to navigate the agreement or whatever they signed with the Premier League. Hello, guys. To me, we are known as the Blues, not the Yellows or Greens. Don't change the color. Again, that's wishful thinking. They can change it, but my argument is that it will never be easy. The London City Tigers, keep finding some names. That's gonna be good. Jacob Ben on Twitter. Let me see here again. He already said Bruce Buck wants a Ricketts family there. Bede is strong. Keep on. I'm not sure where that is coming from. Okay, if not that simple, why are you bothering to discuss it? Fraser Ben Jacob, I'm not sure what stuff he's talking about there. Well, being right. Let's see if there's anything else to read here. I think this is this argument between the two people in the chat. And big up to you, Just Viola, one of the queens of the house. Always good to see you. Yes, okay, if you say so. I'm not going to read that. Well, let me see if there's anything interesting here. All journalists have different reports. Surely you know that yourself, even Matt Law, Nisa Kinsella Athletic. Yes, we can only speculate, and none of these journalists are part of the discussion or part of the process if you want to. This is, Double Neil Das, I think this is your first time here. Please, if you haven't, make sure to like the video and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Let me see. Point 1 to 6 should not be on the list. Point 3 don't make sense. Invest in men's team, but not women's team. Okay, let's see. I'm good. This is never gonna give up, never gonna let you down, never gonna tell a lie and hurt you. Yep, all those things. The important aspect is the government opposition. No license, you cannot play, no safety certificates to stage matches. Good point. Point 3 should be mandatory. However, just a committing doesn't mean it will equal in trophies. Examples: Man United, £1 billion spent, 0 trophies. Yes, £1 billion spent recklessly. Somebody please ban this guy. I don't want to even show what they've written on the screen.
Red ban.
Yeah, I've done that. So let's come back to that point number 3. Declare your thoughts. Then I'll go to Nick Blue and Seed.
It's another wasteful point and very vague, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let me break it down. Commit necessary resources, right?
Mm-hmm.
That could be anything. That could be, well, we have 0 strikers and we must buy a striker. That's a necessary commitment to resource, right? So only when we're desperate, or maybe the same funding as we're doing. So it can be anything. It could be nothing, and it could be good. So it's nothing there, right? And then continue to win trophies, including investing in first team and in the football academy, and that's what's going on now, yeah. But why it's a nothing statement from the Ricketts, right, is because we look at your Chicago Cup teams and invest, and this point 3 doesn't really apply to your Chicago clubs. You don't really invest, you don't win trophies. I have no idea how the academy works there, but I assumed he's probably not putting money in that too. So his actions, speak differently to point 3, and point 3 is very vague. So point 3 is
it's not even necessary in the first place. Yeah, in the first place, you're buying a club. It becomes your responsibility. You have to commit resources. So this shouldn't be part of it. I think they're just trying to sweet talk us into joining their own bandwagon. If you ask me, go ahead, Declare.
Yeah. It's stupid. It is what we're doing already, right? The club was already winning trophies, investing, and heavily investing in the academy as well. That goes to show. So basically, if you come in and just continue what we're doing, that's great. That's all I really wanted. But and you don't have to say commit necessary resources because that's vague. But if you just said we're going to continue the same thing, I can expect the same thing. But where it's a nothing point from the Ricketts. Well, let's look at your Chicago Cubs team. This point doesn't even make sense. You never done this there. Why would you do this at Chelsea? Why would you? What is it about Chelsea that gave you like new hope and new light? Why didn't you do this at the clubs? Is it not worth it? I mean, I'd love to see if Ricketts sat there and just someone asked him that, and why he feels maybe he feels that wasting money in the Chicago Cubs is a waste. Maybe he doesn't like that. Maybe he wants more passionate about football. But why doesn't he sell the club, Chicago Cubs? Because that's a Super League team. That you just keep that. It's a franchise, and it grows. But he monetized and milked the hell out of that thing, and without investing in the team. You know what? I would understand if he had the highest prices and cut costs and got into debt because he was trying to win trophies. If that was the case, and I said this man, he took a risk and he pushed the club's resource limit to win trophies, right? And it's bad management, but I can see he was about winning, right? But it's quite the opposite. He done all that and didn't invest in the team. Won one trophy and straight away sold your best players. It was like if he comes into Chelsea and repeats the same thing, he might invest and as soon as we win the title or the Premier or the Champions League, then well, we're not going to renew his contract. We can sell him. We can sell him, and then he's going to try build a success on that one trophy. But what he doesn't understand is Chelsea's won so much in that many years that one trophy doesn't hold that much weight like it does at Liverpool. So Liverpool, the Fenway Group, everyone thinks that they're great, but they're doing almost something similar. So they built a great team to win stuff, right? And they've won 2 big trophies, right? And they can win more. But now you can see, why wouldn't you sign Salah? He's almost considered the best player, and they're actually thinking about we don't need to sign Salah. And then who's the next person? Mane. What happens when Van Dijk wants a big contract? So that means that Liverpool's attitude is that we don't need to pay big money, and they're going to be selling their players. If that's where they're at, then that means they're following a similar model that I just described, is build a team to win trophies, and then after that, go very cheap and hang on the success of what you've done, and now it's time to get your return on investment. And for Liverpool, they hadn't won a title for 30 years, so it's a big deal. They're going to use that for a long time, and plus they got Klopp, so we got Tuchel. So any owner that comes in is going to really push Tuchel to their limits, because Tuchel's going to have to pull out magic after magic after magic after that, and get the best out of average players. So this is the mentality of these groups, and for me, simply, Ricketts hasn't. His actions have spoke louder, right? And he can say this third point, but he never done it. He actually done the opposite. So that's why it's a nothing point.
Yeah, I think the point shouldn't be that's by default what they are supposed to do. So I'm going to go through the chat again, and then and then I'll come to Nick Blue, and then Seed quickly. He says it's reckless spending, even if it amounts to that. That's the truth. Manchester United have spent. The only difference is that they spent without papers. They didn't solve the problems they were supposed to solve with the spendings. That's the issue there. And the billion, like Staff said, 1 billion since Sir Ferguson left the club. And you-boy says, I love if someone roasted Tom Ricketts about his sporting merits. Well, maybe if you get a chance, who does? I think these guys are rich enough to even influence the strongest journalists you can think about. They have connections. Joe Boy, the women are mentioned further down. Okay, we get there. The cloud is on fire. Yes, sir, the cloud is on fire. If I need to quench him, I do that, but I get the point. It's not the mentioned men and academy, nothing about investment in women's, which is a joke. All they say about a women's team is make them play more and make LGBT important at the club. Aha, that's a good point there. Declare, do you want to do you want to say anything about this point here?
No, it's just they have not mentioned the correct points, and it's not like they just said, I want women's team to play more at Stamford Bridge so that they can gain more revenue, so I can get more money.
So nothing specific.
No,
about
not specific.
the development, right?
Not about the academy. Also, they just said we are going to fulfill the resources for the academy. It does not work like that in Chelsea. You have to spend good in academy because we are producing talents like no other.
Nick, your thoughts?
Yeah, well, what about the play at Stamford Bridge? They want the women team to play at Stamford Bridge more. So more or less, they want to move the women team into Stamford Bridge and get rid of the meadow where they have their own ground. The women. That's what they're thinking of. I think, to bring them to the bridge and sell the other ground, make more money. That's what it sounds like to me.
I get your point. A serious fight going on in the chat here, and I don't want to be part of it. You guys should slug it out there. coming to you, Nick. What do you have to say? We digress when we read something from the person in the chart. Nick, what do you think about this point number 3?
What's that? What's that one?
It says commit resources necessary across all level of the club to continue winning trophies, including investing in the first team, experience of football leadership, and the academy.
Yeah, they're just, I don't know, they're just saying what we are doing right now. So I don't know, I don't understand. They're just trying to say things what the fans want to hear, you know. They just, they want, or they're trying to get as many fans on their side as possible. That's what they're doing. And as we know, Bruce Buck is with them as well. They're just, it's obvious, but some people are going to, think there's something good because of all the points, but they're not. This is all a cover-up. Wait, like I said, wait till 2-3 years and let's see where we are. Where in the table we're going to be. I don't trust them. I don't trust them with not one penny. This is all talk, nothing but talk. And
if you ask me, I'd say the same. Yeah, go ahead.
I think the Chelsea fans should wake up and come out and put, in their thousands and let's stop this rubbish, because otherwise, when they do, if they do become owners, and when they see their team, we're not going to be challenging for titles or winning FA Cups or Champions League anymore. We're going to go another 40 years back where we were, struggling to survive in the second division. Well, let them. I hope that, I don't want that to happen, of course, but if it happens, then they're going to realize what stupid idiots they are, our fans. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah, I think that makes a great sense. To you, Seed, what do you think about that point number 3?
I think their track record does not match the point they are saying, because at Chicago Cubs they are on 24th place. They are not investing properly. Their wage structure is awful. They are not. They are increasing ticket price and they are not investing in the team, and that's why there was a protest there, because they thought they can invest in Chelsea, in buying Chelsea, and the players that side and the fans that side were saying, why can't you invest in Chicago Cubs then if you have the money? They doesn't care, because it's like a Super League format where you can't relegate. He's increasing ticket prices, releasing jerseys, just like Ronke does, but he tends to invest in Arsenal lately now. But Ricketts
Yeah.
doesn't have a record that can back their statement.
And thank you very much for that. And again, I want to say something about this comment on the screen. I think this is so wrong on so many levels. He says all the internationals and plastics will jump over to Newcastle United. I don't think it doesn't. It's not like that. And if you give me the chance, I tell you to your face that the international fans are even bluer than those that are domestic. If you ask me, they're the ones that even if they get a chance, they do more in London if they have easy access to get to London. Let me explain something to you, especially most remote areas in Africa. Football is the only thing that gives them hope. And they're not into jumping into that is switching their allegiance to one club to another if something like this happens. That's not you don't get that in Africa. You don't get people even discussing I'll stop supporting my club if this happens or if that happens. If these until the fat lady sings at the church before they stop supporting the club they support. So I don't think this is insulting to internationals that support Chelsea Football Club. And let me let you know something else again. Chelsea wouldn't be as big as it is today if it weren't for its international supporters in Asia, Africa, North America, South America. And think about it, all those people are even stronger supporters than though. But it's not a fight and who is a better supporter or not. I think that's the best way to phrase it. I don't think it is correct to say such thing. Sid, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, I want just to add that international fans are also very important to make your brand globalize, because it
Mm-hmm.
from a I am from Asia, I am from India, Asia. So I can say that here Chelsea fan base is growing, and in Japan and China, where Yokohama is from, who was our kid sponsor back then, the fan base in Japan is very good. The fan base in China is also very good. So it's not like fans just jump on because club is having hard time. I supported Chelsea
Yeah.
when we finished it 10th under Jose Mourinho, when he
Yep.
left
Yep.
midway.
Yeah. Declare your thoughts on that comment.
The Champions of Newcastle one.
This one, all the international and plastic fans would jump over to Newcastle. Yeah.
Yeah, why not? We gotta get Newcastle. No, there's. I mean, those fans would always jump. They say some of them just are fans for clubs because they're a fan of a certain player. If any fans jumps on Newcastle, I mean, they were always going to jump off, jump on, jump off. Who knows? I'm not going to call them plastics, but they can, people can easily move around. But where I do where I've questioned the support is that for for some people, racism is a bigger deal than others, right? And for some people that have probably gone through it are strongly against it. Now, if the Ricketts come in and you support a club and you're so against racism too, you'll probably question, what do you do? What can you do? If you support the club, you're supporting Ricketts in a way, in a big way. So should people just? Is it enough for people to jump off? I know people say, yeah, nah, nothing can do it. Yeah, majority are like that, but at the same time, that means race. Maybe you haven't gone through racism. So for some
Mm.
people, racism is a major deal. It could, for some people, being against racism, it could be their life, could be their work, could be what they've been fighting for this whole time. And then you got someone like the Ricketts come in, and maybe they would jump to another club. There probably holds a little weight to not necessarily Newcastle, but people maybe jumping off the club if the Ricketts get in, and you can't call them plastics in that. It's because racism is a bigger deal to them. It's a major deal. Uh, and even I questioned, how would you get the Ricketts out if they came in? If you were so against them, how would you get them out? By not supporting them,
Yeah.
or maybe is it enough to get off the club? Don't know. I'm pretty sure people have questioned what they'll do if they came in, and on that, I think on one of the options, the ultimate option, has been maybe not supporting your club, and so people can jump off. So maybe it holds a little bit of weight to
Yeah.
it in a different
I
way.
think. Yeah. I see your message. No problem, bro. I understand. No, you're always welcome to jump in. I like your inputs very much. Thank you very much, brother. And I want to say this, Declare. I think this comment is the type of comment that raises, that gives birth to arguments that brings division within the Chelsea fan base, and it's not okay. You get it? It's not okay. It's a statement. It's your opinion, and you have every right to express it. But again, I must let you know I have a big problem with this comment. It's like saying, it's this is no different from a person born in a country saying every other person in that country is no every other person that isn't born in that country is no citizen of that country. So it's no different from that argument, and that's where I have a problem with it. So we must be careful how we word what we say. There's no guarantee that the internationals will be the first to jump to Newcastle if such happens.
Why wouldn't the
I
locals
don't
jump off?
exactly. So I don't know
I mean,
why,
what?
Nick.
Why?
What do
Why?
you think about? Go ahead. Go ahead, Declare.
Yeah, yeah. So I was speaking in all the fan base, not just international
Mm,
and plastics. I mean, all people, all fans can jump off. If we have a really bad season, people can jump off. You know what I mean? people can jump off already. People can, people can change clubs even if you just have a bad season. Not even,
Yeah,
not even racism or anything like that. But to say internationals and plastics, are not committed. I mean, I'm a prime example. I'm on the other side of the world. I had to keep a lifestyle and sleepless nights and affected every aspect of my life just to watch Chelsea, just to watch the EPL. I gotta be up from midnight or 2 a.m. or the game can start at 3, 4 a.m., 6. These games are all on those times. I've been to Europe before. You know how great it is. It was great to watch a game during the day. I loved it. So much easy. If I lived in Europe, I'd be
Yeah,
watching every game. Remember, so much
yeah,
easier.
yeah,
To
yeah.
say
I
to say
think
you
we
can
should
watch a game
stop.
during the day.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I think we should stop that behavior of how do I say it, making fun of some sections of the fan base because they don't live in England or because they're not
not,
English. I think it doesn't make sense. I think it divides us.
yeah,
That's my point here. And I'm glad Chelsea for Life, I'm glad you made this comment because it brings up an important discussion. And because this is an interactive show, we look at comments that we think that are important and talk about it. So, Nick, you've been a Chelsea supporter all your life. Let me
yeah,
ask you one important question. This shouldn't make us fight. This should make us talk about something that's a problem within the Chelsea fan base because that has always been the issue.
yeah,
Even content creators, those that are based in England, you can argue have no respect that other content creators that are not English, are not
yeah,
based in
Yeah.
the United Kingdom. So
yeah,
these
not,
comments here, your thoughts?
Hey, he
yeah,
replied saying we're putting words in his mouth.
yeah. I see the point. Look, uh, the the point is, years ago, we didn't have a big fan base all over the world. We
Mm-hmm.
were here in England, in UK mostly. We didn't have hardly any fans across the world. We did have some, but not like now. So we should be proud what we have, because we have a great fan base all over the world. They buy the merchandise. They're
Mm-hmm.
fanatical. Us, I see them. I see what they do in Africa, how passionate they are, and India and Australia, everywhere. America, they have their own supporters clubs, Chelsea supporters clubs, and they dress up. They wear their blue, their scarves, their hats, and they're all together watching a Chelsea final. It makes me really proud. So I don't understand these people. Oh well, here don't go with that. Uh, yeah, and I'll tell you why they don't, because they're racist. That's what it comes down to. Why you think there
Yeah.
was only 100 of us on Saturday? Because the problem is we haven't got rid of this racist problem in our fan base, and it just showed on Saturday how much is still there. I know from the beginning how it was, and I know what's going on, every single day at Chelsea and in the fan base. Because you can see, I hear it, I talk to them, I'm there, I'm at the ground, I see it all the time. And, the one thing Declare said, not to, I might not support Chelsea again if Ricketts take over. Yeah, but that's wrong. I can't tell you what to do, Declare, but years years ago when we were struggling, I was there at the bridge. Like we used to get 9,000 fans, 7,000,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes more in the second division, struggling to stay up in the second division. But that didn't stop me. Once you're blue, the real fan is once you're blue, you're always blue. The ones who want to change or keep changing, there is people who change up and down. They're not Chelsea fans. They're football fans, and they just go with the team that wins trophies. But the real fans are there in the bad days, not the good days. They're
Mm-hmm.
the
Nick,
they're,
Nick, I
they're
wasn't referring to myself, just to make that clear. Yeah.
yeah they there. When the things are going bad, and like no, even if the Ricketts come and things are going bad, I'll be there. I'll be the first one there. Even if we're going to be struggling, but I'll still be there like I always have been. And there's thousands like me, but the problem is there's thousands not like me. and till we get rid of all this hate amongst ourselves, we ain't going to progress. We're going to go downhill.
Yeah, I think we need to, preach unity among the Chelsea fans. And again, I must let you know, Chelsea fan for life, this is nothing against you. You brought up a very good point, if you ask me, because without this comment, we wouldn't even be talking about what we're talking about right now. Again, we shouldn't even, no fan should think that they're a bigger fan than the other fan. I don't think it makes sense. I think it just creates division. You make divisions amongst the Chelsea fan base. You make the other Chelsea fans feel like they're less important because they're supporting Chelsea from Africa, Asia, or elsewhere. You know, football, they say, it's a universal language. It's a universal game. It's the most understood language, if you ask me, and spoken everywhere in the world, even in the most remote places. A prime example is a little boy who made a Leo Messi jersey from a plastic bag. That's to show you how in a war zone, actually, in a war zone. That's to show you how global football is. That's to show you that even you living to the next to the stadium of that football club we're talking about doesn't make you the best supporter of the club. Even the fact that you or whoever you are, or how many games you've attended in your life, or how many hours you sat on a bus to a game doesn't make you a bigger supporter than somebody who's not privileged enough to live at a place where they can get on a bus and go see a game. Believe me, there are those, if there's that possibility, if they have a ticket and they live 10 miles away from Stamford Bridge, they will trek to Stamford Bridge to go watch a game. So you going to see a game or sat 10 hours, 5 hours on the bus doesn't make you a bigger supporter than anybody else. So we have to address this division within the Chelsea fan base. It's dangerous. It's toxic. It's not okay. We have a bigger fight to fight. If you're talking about how those international or plastic fans we switch to Newcastle United, we have a lot of Chelsea supporters close to the stadium, and that brings me to this Mikel's comments. Mikel is being sarcastic. If you don't understand Chelsea forever, if you don't understand that, he's being sarcastic. Yes, read his comment very well. We thought it was going to be bigger than what we saw during the Super League, and it didn't happen. So nobody has every right to blame, to say anything against the international fans. And let me restate this again. The global fans are the reasons why, the international fans are the reasons why Chelsea are as big as it is today. And you could say the same thing with the English fans, with the domestic fans. We are one, and shouldn't be thinking that we're bigger than the other person because we've attended a game or because you sat on the bus 10 hours to a game. No, it just doesn't make sense. It divides us. But that's, by the way, we have points to discuss here. He says, go ahead.
I have to add on that, because Chelsea fans, it's hard to get through to them. You know, they have to be, they should be proud of so many, we have billions all over the world. You should be proud. But no, you're not. This wouldn't happen at Newcastle United, because I know what Newcastle fans are like. Two big differences. Newcastle fans stick together. They've had all the bad times you can imagine. They've never won a trophy for how long? No one can remember the last time they won a trophy. That's, in the 50s. So, you just have to wake up and look at Newcastle, look at Liverpool even. They do stick together. If things are going bad, they stick together, and we don't. That's the problem. Yeah, Coach, go.
Yeah, it's just I'm really pissed right now, and I'm happy that I'm able to control myself. And I'm surprised. I have to say, Stav, I know you understood the argument very well. I don't know where you're sitting on a bus and going to a game. I don't know where that comes into what we're talking about right now. But again, much respect to you. We're all entitled to our opinion. DJ, I want to bring you on immediately. it's important to address what has been dividing us, what divides the Chelsea fan base the most. Let me give you a perfect example. If you go check out Drogba, he has a channel, and his channel, the last time he has appeared here before, and when he appeared here, he had just 16,000 followers. But within a month, his channel is 22,000 plus, or a little less if I'm correct. And he presents in Hindi, for Christ's sake. And he talks about Chelsea. You can say not strictly Chelsea, even if it is football. He presents in Hindi, and that channel is growing that fast. What does that show you? The football is global. It's not about the English, it's not about the Germans, it's not about the French. And supporting Chelsea isn't about you being English or how many games you've seen. That doesn't make you a bigger supporter of Chelsea Football Club. You go ahead, let's talk about it. And Chelsea for life, this is nothing against you. You brought up a good point that helps us. We'll go back to discussing the points, 8-point plays by the Ricketts, but this is important too. And that's why it's an interactive show. You go ahead, DJ, and tell us what you think.
Yeah, big up, guys. How are you guys? You all right?
Yeah, we're good. We're good.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, listen, I had to jump on because I came on because I was just hearing the comments and I could see things are getting a little bit slightly out of hand with some of the comments that have been mentioned in the comment section. And one I wanted to refer to, even I think the comments has actually been raised now as an Arsenal fan that actually came on here and actually condoning the Ricketts at Chelsea Football Club. I mean, listen, I know we have rivals as football clubs. We're rivals out there, yeah, to every football club. But I tell you what, if this was happening to Arsenal, Manchester City, Manchester United, Liverpool, anybody like that out there, you get a bunch of idiot, racist owners like that coming to your football club. I would condone them going to that football club as well. But for an Arsenal fan to come on here and start condoning the Ricketts to Chelsea as owners really got me angry. It just tells me where that guy's morals is and where his upbringing is, because clearly he has none at all. And that just really annoyed me seeing that on there. And look, as a Chelsea fan, look, we all know how we feel about the Ricketts. I'm sorry, unfortunately, I couldn't get to the protest on Saturday because I had other things ongoing, but I did get to the match afterwards. And I have to say, when I actually got to Stamford Bridge, I did see the protests were still ongoing out there. And big up to all those who went out there, and including Nick Blue. Obviously, I know others from there. Obviously, Eunice Talks Football, Matisse, Mo from the Blue Lounge. Everyone was all down there that I could see. But unfortunately, as I said, I could see you guys. I did actually clap hands at you guys and actually said no to the Ricketts when me and my dad were walking down. And I'm sorry I couldn't come in and join the protest. We had to get into the match and obviously watch the game. Obviously, everyone knows how the game was that day. It wasn't that great. But, look, at the end of the day, I don't want these guys anywhere near our football club, regardless of what everyone wants to try and come out and say, well, their 8 promises are, whatever it might be. I don't want these guys anywhere near our football club whatsoever. We all know what they're all about. We all know the kind of people that they are. And anybody, any fan, I'm not saying this, any fan out there, if you're a rival fan, so what, you're a rival fan. I get rivalry. I'm the same like that when it comes to teasing, whatever. But when it comes to a serious situation like this, when we're talking about racism, we're talking about all those kind of things, and you've got people like that coming and putting comments in their section about Chelsea and the Ricketts and things like that, it got me so angry. And, I don't like seeing that. And I would never condone that on any football club, regardless of my whatever it might be. I've got rivalry with all the Arsenal and Liverpool, Tottenham fans and whatever you want to call it. But I would never condone people like that to go to their football club, because I feel sorry for the fans. It's as simple as that. And when you get idiots like that coming on here with their comments, it just got me more annoyed. And what you guys have all been discussing is so true. I mean, I've been in this country. I'm born and bred in this country for years and years and years. I've got a half Portuguese heritage, right? But I've had racism come my way. I mean, I was part of that racism that Nick was talking about. He was talking about Chelsea back in the 80s. I went with my dad watching Chelsea since then as well. My dad used to take me and my brother when we were younger to Stamford Bridge, and I heard that all coming out back then. Okay, maybe I might have known much about what it was all about, but my dad was obviously trying not to say much to me about what people were saying. But we got a rough idea what people were saying, and it wasn't nice to hear it. And and then you've had like the likes of Ken Bates, and then you've had Roman Abramovich, who've come in and cut this all out so much, cut all this crap out from our football club, and then you're getting more and more people, that are people like that in the comment section and condoning and saying, "Great, Chelsea are going to be stuck with the Ricketts." I mean, it's ridiculous, and it just got me really got me gutted here got me down here and seeing all that, and that's why I had to jump on Chelsea Perspective and
Yeah,
as I said to you all,
that, you
big
should
up to
come on
you guys for the
often.
comments, man.
Yeah, you're talking,
You know,
facts. I'm really proud of you. I see your comments when you make them, and you know what it's all about. I wish there was more people like you with us, but I'm afraid there's not. I'm trying my best to.
Believe me, Nick, I would have got down to the protest with you guys.
Yeah, I
on
know.
Saturday. Trust me, I would have. It's just that we're on the verge of moving house.
I saw you walking down, but I didn't know it was you.
It was me. Yeah, it was me and my dad walking down. We're on the verge of moving as well. We're moving house as well, so we're packing you at the missus at home here. All right. So I would have come down. I would have come down to the protest. I mean, because I've been sending. Believe it or not, Nick, I've actually been sending letters to the Chelsea trustee. I've sent letters to Chelsea
but they
Football
don't
Club.
reply. I have to reply to you.
I've been doing all that, bro. Trust me, I've been doing all that. Saying I don't want these guys anywhere near our football club.
Have they replied to you?
I've had one reply back from the Chelsea Trust, and they're basically saying they can obviously they can see why we don't want it, and they can understand from a Chelsea perspective what all the fans want, and believe me that they want the same situation, is they don't want these people anywhere near it, and then
they have to come on the show.
They have to act on it. That's correct. That's right. They have to.
You know, DJ, didn't you say a third of them are undecided?
Yes, there are some fans out there. There are some fans out there, bro, that are very much undecided on the situation. But the ones that don't want these guys there, the guys that don't want them out there are low.
It's like I said, some people don't think of, if you've never experienced racism or gone through it, people don't see how it feels and understand it, and probably can think it's no big deal. I mean, I heard some people say, Islam isn't a race and stuff like that.
Trust me, bro. I've got racism come to my. I've had racism in this country many times, bro. Believe me. I'm born and bred.
I'm talking about the trust group.
Oh, the trust group. Yeah.
I think you got to remember that Chelsea have a history, like you just brought up, of racism, and
let's do this.
And maybe that's still.
Let's do this. I think you guys brought up a good point. Let's talk it towards the end of the show. Let's quickly catch up with the chat, and DJ great input, and complete discuss on the point, and then we'll talk about that point that I think a third of them DJ talked about. And again, Stav, respects to you. Sorry to hear your grandma lost her life when talking about buying Chelsea Football Club. And I think a lot of this, we have to talk about proper Chelsea and what it means someday here in one of the Blue Morning shows. And let's see. I'm coming down, but that really pissed me off. The division was the politics I was referring to in the second live video I joined on here. The division is serious in the Chelsea fan base, and it's not okay for any fan to see themselves as a better Chelsea supporter than the other person. It doesn't make sense. No, he has the right to be annoyed. People should stop using that term, third point perspective. Thank you. I appreciate that. Oh, dear, Coachila, calm down. You like to say, oh, dear, all the time, Stav. I even get caught sometimes not a proper Charles because I cannot go to every game every week. I have a fiancé and kids. Coachila speaks for me. Thank you. I appreciate that. I wish to speak to her for everybody. I hope I could do that, but it's not possible. I am for Paul. I am for Apollo. Come on, folks. Yeah, the good one there. I've been there when we were crap and getting battered, but it doesn't matter, does it? It doesn't really. And Chelsea for Life 79, did I say that? My main point is that glory hunters are the worst types of supporters, and the whole Ricketts out movement stinks of double standards. Are you okay with the Saudi takeover? This is not about talking about Saudi. You made a comment that led to us talking about an issue that's very important, and that's why the Blue Morning Show is an interactive show. Such comments are important to discuss them because it's important. Yeah, we have serious divisions within the Chelsea fan base. I love Drogba and Almighty Blues, both fantastic channels. Yes, you should go check them out, and that shows you how global the Chelsea brand is. Drogba presents mainly in Hindi, and he has in one go in a single stream. He sometimes he has 1,000 plus, sometimes 300. The least I've seen, I think, is 200. That's to show you how Chelsea have grown. It doesn't matter where that person is located, but he presents in Hindi, and yet you see 200 people in chat supporting the channel. So it's not about where you are, who you are, or that's you get. So for you, Chelsea for life, this is no fight against you. You just brought up something that led to a topic that's important to us. So you are attacking me, Coachila, because you seem to think UK fans have it easy. That's not what I'm saying. And again, you misunderstand my point. I said you said because your comment read, oh, come on, Coachila, you've been on the bus for 5 hours to a game. Yes, that really pissed me off. It sounded like you're saying because you've been on the bus for 5 hours to a game, it means you're a bigger fan than any other person. So that's not an attack. I was talking about the comment made by Chelsea for Life 79, and you said that, so I had to, say something. If you see it's an attack, again, that's you. Are you okay with the Saudis? We're not going to talk about that now. That's not the point. One of Chelsea trustees head of kicks out. How do you think they will feel knowing the Ricketts will be running our club? It's a joke. I don't think that has happened yet, and I don't think it will happen. I am confident it will not. I would have gone to the protest, but my son had, and that's important. Family comes first. We must recognize that. Sorry. Okay, I hope your son is fine. Okay. And Arsenal fans have been doing that in the past few days. I don't understand why. They, that's our struggles. Give them joy. Trolling, that is, I don't think bantering is allowed. When once it's a troll, we block that person. Don't UK have racism laws? It's everywhere, but still it doesn't stop it. Like Bobby would always say, racism is an institution, and it's a hard, it's very difficult to deal with. I don't think it can be completely eradicated. It will still be there, but it can be, managed to a certain point. In Denmark, we have racism law. You get arrested for a year if you racist comments on anything public. Can be Facebook as well. I don't think to America, racist comments on Facebook, nobody arrests you. What they do, I think maybe you could lose your job because of it, because the company, organization you're working for wants to save face. That's the only reason why they will fire you, even if the owner is racist. This one says, Bates made money and took a salary. The people you are attacking are the reason Chelsea Football Club still exists. No trophies, no glory, champions football. Yep, okay. Hit the like button. He says, ask Michael if I have said you not a real fan. No, I haven't. I'm not saying you said that. Stop, please. You misunderstand me, and I'm not going to stay here and argue with you. You misunderstand my argument. That's one thing. First, the Prime Minister in the UK. Okay, this says, you boy says, as fans, we can decide to protest Glazers out, Kroenke out, especially if you are a Chelsea fan. Arsenal and United fans will always support the idea that Chelsea get screwed. It's years of hurt. Yes, they will always support that. They hate us so much, and we know that. So, DJ, I have the first to bring you up to part to where we are already.
Yeah.
Let me know. Can you see the screen, DJ?
Yeah, I can do.
If you can quickly talk about point 1, point 2. You say you cannot, or you say you can?
I can see, but not obviously, not as would you call it. I can see some of the points, but not full on. I guess it's because maybe my screen might be a little bit. Maybe I don't know.
Okay, let's bring you out to. Let's just go to point 3 and just probably go to point 4 because we've streamed for 1 hour plus. We don't want to, go through and not. We don't want to go for long and not be able to cover all the points. So point 3 says they're promising they will commit the resources necessary across all levels of the club to continue winning trophies, including investing in the first team, experience of football leadership, and the academy. Your thoughts on that? I think the Clyde have argued, and Nick Blue have also argued that this isn't something they should even have as a point there, because that's what you do when you acquire a club. You must commit the resources. Your thoughts, and you can also talk about point 1 and point 2. If you want me to read it for you, I'll go ahead.
Listen, what Declared and Nick Blue are saying 100%. I mean, whatever new owner comes into a football club really should be having their commitments down already, what their general plan is for the football club. Let's be honest. Obviously, when all this talk was going on about who we were going to get as owners and who were they going to be, every single owner put down a plan of what it was going to be. And, you know, even the Saudi media group came out with their own little group thing saying, we're going to extend the stadium. We're going to put money into the youth. We're going to put money into the academy. We're going to go. We're going to make the ladies team, you know, play around. You know, something they're going to also invest into the women's team, and obviously they're going to. The other obviously important factor was extend Stamford Bridge. I mean, look, these are all the things everyone has to say when you're buying into a new philosophy or a new way of going about business. I mean, if I was a businessman like that, I'd be saying the same thing. I'd actually have a plan in place and say, this is what my plans are and what I'm going to do, you know, for this particular business that I'm going into. So, yeah, you know, it's something they should be doing. So why that's even been mentioned as a point is beyond me. Again, it's just their way of trying to get the Chelsea fans, that are a minority of them out there that want them, on their side even more. And then they're trying to bring others into it. But look, that doesn't wash with me at all. The bottom line is, whatever points they've made here, whatever they want to say and whatever they want to do, for me, I personally don't care. I just don't want them near our football club. It's as simple as that. They are just going to be bad news. Simple as that. We all know. We all know their heritage, their background. You know, people say, you know, sins of the father. It doesn't matter. They've still got their own little racist things about them as well. Just generally as people. And listen, we've got to also talk about they're talking about franchising. Yeah, look at their baseball team. I mean, you know, I've got a couple of you know, like those. I've got a couple of friends of mine that actually know about them in the States in terms of the baseball team, and the way they run that baseball team is a joke. I mean, they sell their best players. Okay, they for some reason or another they don't. I think they've got to a time where they don't pay their staff. They sack their staff for no reason. I mean, okay, people say, "Oh, Roman used to do that," but look, Roman wouldn't go out there and just sack anybody. But these guys are just known for sacking people, right? So just in general, so their actual whole philosophy of how they want to go about things is completely wrong. And you know, as I keep saying, you know, you want to take out all the racism stuff, which is the most important factor here. Their actual actually owning a sports franchise in itself is a joke, and I think we're all there to see it. I mean, I think we all know this.
Yes. Yeah, so that's why I always like to have you on the panel, DJ. But unfortunately for me, the Blue Morning Show holds at the point where you're still at work. But I'm glad you're on the panel right now. Let me read some comments also, then we'll go to point number 4. This one here says, that is from Frizz. One of the first statements by the Ricketts regarding the stadium talks sounds to me they have a plan about leaving Stamford Bridge, Coachila. It sounds like that, and I think that's one argument I would like Stav to speak his mind when we get to that point. Let me know. I'll highlight this comment so that we can talk about it again. And Mikhail says, Stav, Coachila, you both international fans now. Yes, whether Stav likes it or not, he's an international fan. He knows that. You both bring something good to our club. Yep, Stav is knowledgeable of the club. He's simply great. Unfortunately, for personal reasons, he's decided he doesn't want to be part of the panel. Again, I respect that. Respect each other. Infighting only divides, diminishes our own fan base. Argue, debate, but respect all. Yeah, that is the way it should be. We all have different opinion, and we can all never agree. And we can disagree to agree, come to sensible conclusions. That's what we do. Respect to each other. Stav knows I respect him too. Now, explore every option I think we'll come to that. I don't want to give it away right now. Facts, thank you very much. What exactly are wrong with Chelsea Football Club? And that's from Marateka Saidi. Marateka Saidi, it looks like this is your first time here. And please, if you're wherever you're watching from, if you haven't, make sure to smash that like button. We have just 29 likes. Let's shoot at least for 100 likes today before we round off the show. And if you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe to help the channel grow. Before we read the 4th point, I'm going to start with you right away before I go to Nick Blue and then Declare. DJ, since I'm with you already, do you think this is a form of distraction by the Ricketts? Because like I've talked before, they're business savvy. They're not billionaires by mistake. They're smart people, you know, and they do politics too. So I think they are approaching this whole thing with what I call a mashup of politics and business savviness, and it's really getting into the heads of Chelsea fans. Because the moment this comment was released, I could see some Chelsea fans changing their opinion of the Ricketts. And my good friend, even my good friend and brother, Max from Button Ballers, replied to the comment saying something like, well, I think he said something like, if this is real, then I'm willing to give them a chance. And I'm seeing all the fans already saying, it looks like it's working. Your thoughts, DJ? Don't you think this is a form of distraction? Because throughout yesterday and today, people have talked less about their past, but more about these points. And then the new owner, the new person they've added to their group. Your thoughts, DJ?
Listen, first of all, I just want to say big up to Max Ballers. I know him very, very well as well.
No, I respect him. I'm just saying. I just use it as an example.
No, I'm just saying big up to him. But listen,
and please, if you haven't, go check Button Ballers YouTube channel. Great content. He's him, Star, Bobby, Nick Blue, DJ Saab, one of the most experienced contributors to Chelsea. Chelsea channels on streams, and Button Ballers has his own channel. You could go check it out. Believe me, you'll love the content. But go ahead, DJ.
Yeah. So sorry. I'm really sorry, Coachila. It's only because I think it's just my what do you call it from seeing the screen. What exactly is that point for? I wish I had the points in front of me. Do you know that? What is that?
Yeah, I'll read that one. I'll read the point for you, the fifth point.
Yeah,
but I'm saying, my question is, do you think them releasing this statement at this point is designed, that is their intention is to distract the Chelsea fans? And I said it looks like it's working, because this point, if you don't look at it thoroughly, you'd say, oh, these guys, it looks like they're gonna do good. Listen, and I gave you an example. For instance, I say they're starting to change the minds of Chelsea fans already, and I gave you an example which was from my friend and brother Max from Button Ballers, who said something similar to, if this is real, then I'm willing to give them a chance. That's an example of the fact that they're starting to change minds. Do you think this was designed to be a distraction?
It was, but it wasn't gonna wash with all Chelsea fans. And I think we got to obviously choose our words carefully when Max says he's willing to give them a chance. I personally think what he's basically seeing, or what he's reading on there, is basically saying that maybe there are something about them that we don't know, that maybe they are changing, maybe they are, maybe what they realize is what they.
No, I understand your point. I have nothing against Max. This is not a fight.
No. I'm just basically saying the same thing. I for one know that for me though, it doesn't wash with me. It doesn't wash with me at all. I mean, that old saying that we've always heard of, a leopard never changes its spots. For me, this is the same situation, mate. I for one would never ever believe whatever they're saying, and they're trying to get fans on side. They're trying to what do you call it, people? They're trying to convince people we are not them kind of people anymore.
They're trying really hard.
But I, for one, don't believe any of it at all, mate. I as I keep saying, they are. You just got to read. You just got to read their past meanings, mate. And unfortunately, everything that they've done in the past is going to haunt them. And there's not a single Chelsea fan out there, for me, as far as I'm aware, and I know the ones on the panel with me right now declared in it blue. I know for one would not in anything believe something like that. And no, I for one would never. I mean, everything they basically say, Coachila, as I said, everything they've said and what they've been mentioning, I would never believe in any of it at all, because of their meanings in the past. And as I said, no one changes from that. And all it is they'll get into the football club, they'll do this whole thing for a little while, do they actually really know how things are actually done here? Because there's a reason why, we're going back to this whole thing of and I don't keep want to bring it up about racism and things like that. But there's a reason why every football player and every team takes the knee before the game is kicked off. What are they going to do when they see that? Everyone's going to look at them and think, are you actually really seeing what's actually being seen out here? Because, I, for one, cannot believe for a second that they look at that, it's going to change them in any way whatsoever. Look, I don't trust them. Don't want them. And, whatever comments they put on those 8 comments on there, bro, I'm no way going to believe any of it. So whatever they want to say, it's not going to convince me of anything. You know, bottom line is no to the Ricketts. I don't want him at Chelsea. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, and again, I'm not saying that Max is for them, but I hope
No,
you
he's
get
not.
my point.
Yeah, I get your point.
Just to
I get
show
your point, though.
exactly,
Yeah,
they're
100%.
starting to change. Max, if you watch his recent videos, he has a bold note to the Ricketts behind him while presenting. But I'm just making a point here that these guys are good at what they do, and it's working. Declare, I'll come to you later. Let me start with Nick Blue. Nick, don't you think? I don't know if I've asked you this before, that this is designed to be a distraction, and it's really working because these guys are into politics too. Because since this statement was released, I'm going to repeat myself again. We've talked less about the past of the Ricketts, but more of the promises, more of the pledges. Your thoughts?
Yes. I said it before at the beginning. This is just a show. You know what do we expect them to say? They're going to say, you know, we're bad and we're against that or this or we're racist. You know, they're going to say the real truth about themselves. So they just put in these 8 points, like we all know, you know, to persuade the fans. Well, some of the fans, but it looks like it's a lot of our fans are believing in this. That's what is annoying me. I'm not annoyed more of the Ricketts. I'm angry and annoyed with our fan base because I didn't think they're so stupid, man. You know, it's got to me. And like I said, it showed everything on Saturday when everyone was passing by, going into the pub. They couldn't care less what we were doing. No, they didn't care because a majority of them are racist themselves, and it showed. I know a lot of them who are. I'm telling you, and you know, we're hoping, like Sav said, you know, about the Chelsea Trust and the pitch owners to do something to get the thousands up there, because if we don't, we're gonna be sorry. I'll keep saying it. How many times? You know, we're gonna be a mid-table or maybe a relegation team again, like we was years ago. So if you real Chelsea fans want to see that, then ignore us. That's what you're going to see at the end of the day. They come in, these people, because they are racist and they're not for the club. They're going to come to make more money. All they think about is money, nothing else. So don't be twisted, please.
Yeah, I hope we all see the game they're playing, and they're pretty good at it. And I think their strategy is really working, given the fact that they're starting to change the mind of Chelsea fan. Even some of the hardcore Chelsea fans, or I don't know how else to phrase it, not to sound like I'm disrespecting any sections of the fan. Declan, I'm coming to you now. Do you think that's it's a distraction and it's working?
The whole thing or point 4?
No, the fact that they released this, and the fact that after the release, because before people talked about it that much, I argued yesterday on this show that to me it's a distraction measure and it's working for them. The fact that the timing of the release, because they could have released this long time ago, but they released it, and it just looked like the topic everybody now is talking about. It's just everybody now is focused on the points on that and on that stuff, and not even the past of the Ricketts. What do you think?
It's they've got an opportunity that no other bidders had. They've made points. Where's everyone else's points? I'm waiting for everyone. It's like people have cast judgment. Oh, the Ricketts have made points, and so we must go with them. Well, why didn't other groups get a chance to make points? You know what I'm saying? We can't even compare. I don't know what the other groups are going to do. Why can't we compare points on what each group's going to do? And to me, yeah, it might be PR.
But here's the thing.
I
Here's the
still
main
can't
point of my
understand how
question.
people.
Here's the main point
Yeah,
of
go
my
on.
question. Do you think it's a distraction? It was designed to be a distraction, and do you think it's working?
No, it's not a distraction. They're in massive PR mode. They're in PR overdrive. They're going to do whatever to win over the fans. To win enough so so you can see people don't come to the protests, and you see how people go, well, maybe we give them a chance. It's just enough to win. After, like I said, after they're in, you can do what you want. You can protest all you want. They're not going to leave, and come to I can't believe that people actually looked at those points and go, oh well, I think I'm going to give them a chance. I don't know how anyone can think they're good. I mean, we're going through the points. Should I get on point 4 on how ridiculous that is coming from the Ricketts?
Yeah, we'll go to the. I'll read it. Then I'll let you comment if you want to talk about it. Just 1 second. Give me a second. This question here is: Are you against? Are you against? The word owner. If we had one, why is this even a question? Why is this even a
Ricketts
question?
against homosexual players. They had that against in their own team.
Really?
They said it was wrong. So this guy's a troll. Get him out of here. I don't know. He's trying to find some other angle on what he said. He claimed that we put words in his mouth too. So
yeah. So not many exactly. Okay, let's see. They are trying to win over us, and it's really working for them, if you ask me. Absolutely, we shouldn't fall for it. Yeah, thank you very much. Good argument right there. And he says, why not say the word? Because I don't want to say it. These days, that's not how you say it. That's a word used for them. If you say gay, I'd say it. That's the thing. And then I think at this point, I really do think you're trolling. I don't think you're serious here. You're just finding something to trigger. I don't know how else to phrase it. We move to point number 4. And declared, I'll start with you. It says, put diversity and inclusion at the heart of the club and fight against any form of discrimination or inequality. Your thoughts are declared.
Well, the irony is that the club have been doing that for over the years, and then when you hear the Ricketts and what they've done.
Let me quickly say this to Chelsea 79. If I use the word the way you phrased it, that means I'm against the LGBT community. That's why I'm not going to say it. I respect the people of our sexuality. It doesn't matter your sexual orientation. It doesn't matter to me. As long as you're a nice person, you're my friend, if you're my brother, it doesn't matter to me. That's why I'm not going to say that word you used there. And that to me, clearly, you're the one that's trying to putting words in my mouth or trying to put words out of my mouth, and it's not going to work. I think I could proudly say I'm smarter than that, and it's not okay for you to be doing that and asking me why not say the word. So I'm not going to say it anyway. So please, and be careful, because I don't want to ban you because of your opinion. Okay? You go ahead, Declad.
Yeah, I was saying that there's a great irony coming from the Ricketts when they make that statement. The club has already been doing those things. There's a lot of support for it. But coming from with the Ricketts history, why all of a sudden they found new light? Why all of a sudden they want to commit to to the diversity and all that with their history and their track record?
Mm-hmm.
Why haven't they committed with all the allegations that came out? Why haven't they been committing to these causes for years, for decades, since they've been under the microscope? They're controversial, and they haven't done any of this. Why all of a sudden, when it comes to buying Chelsea, you found some kind of cause, or now we have to do it? I mean, you've done nothing to show it. You only say they've done nothing. This is just words from the Ricketts. That's why it's ironic, because the club is already doing this stuff, right? And basically, you're just coming in and you're meant to be, continue business as usual. But as for the Ricketts, and with your history, you should have been committing to this for years, and you should have come out and said, yeah, I know we've said so and so, but look, we've done this, and that would have been their rebuttal on their actions that they've done for years, how they committed to diversity and inclusion, and they can show what they've done, but they haven't done anything. They haven't done anything. And now when it comes to buying Chelsea, they said this is what we're going to do. They don't have to do it. They don't have to do it. It's just words. It's great PR.
Yep, and again, I think you made a point. They don't have to do it. It's a pledge. It's a promise. It doesn't differ that much from a promise, even though in the professional world we use.
Coach. Even if they do it, it's again just throwing money at the problem. They still have the same mindset.
Yeah, and again, something you said again. Before I come to what comes to mind is that they're not obliged to fulfill those things in the list. They're not. These are just no different. They use the term pledge because it sounds more formal, but the truth it doesn't differ that much from promise, and they're not obliged to fulfill any of these things. So there's no guarantee they do any of them. And first of all, you said something that's very important. This is something that Chelsea, as a club, does already. It's not like they're the ones introducing it.
Yeah.
So you make a great point there. DJ, coming to you, your thoughts on the point 4 on this list.
That in itself, I was on another, surprisingly, you're not, Coachila, I was on another stream yesterday. And that same point was raised, and one of the guys who was talking, massive Chelsea fan. I mean, he was getting it piped left, right, and centre because of our loss yesterday, or our loss on Saturday. But when these comments were starting to be read out, and that came out, the guy I know, he said, I don't go on the stream, but he's of Muslim religion, and when he read that comment, okay. All right, I could tell the sense in his voice, the way he was talking. This is a Chelsea fan. He was a guy he was content. He's like you, content guy. You know, he does things on YouTube, right? And I saw that, and the way he was talking, he was almost like really upset when he saw it. He was thinking, they're coming out saying things like that when they're against my religion, against everything, and they're coming out of things like that. Even that is an insult. He said was the terminology to the whole of our football club and just in general to all the fans out there that are like Chelsea Muslim supporters, and that's coming out with comments like that. Okay, and he really, really took it in a really, really bad way yesterday. And I said to myself, you know what, I don't blame him, and I might not be Muslim, but I'm very much a person who hates racism because it's something that I grew up with myself. As I said, from people generally, okay. But when you're seeing
DJ, if I can come in quickly, I'll let you continue. What you said about not being a Muslim, but you still care. There's a saying, an African saying that say, when the dead body of a stranger is being carried to the burial ground, most people are usually not concerned. But when it's that body of somebody you know or a relative, then you understand the pain that they're going through.
And you know what it is, bro? What it all comes down to, as I said, it doesn't matter who, where, or what religion you
exactly.
are. I don't. That doesn't bother me. I've got so many mixture of friends. Okay, not just. I've got several. I've got I've got Muslim friends. I've got mixture of friends, right? And I know some of them actually are massive Chelsea fans. And when I go to the Chelsea matches, in fact, some of them, a lot of them at the Chelsea matches as well. And when I actually hear them and and hearing what they were to say, it really got. I'm thinking, they are so right. It just tells you what kind of people, what kind of people these guys are. The Ricketts and for them to even come out, even have the audacity to even come out with them comments after their racist background and what they're all about. That is an insult in itself to Chelsea itself and what we are generally as a football and what our club has been brought up to be. Because as I said, as Nick Blue knows, he'll go back in the 80s. We were known and bad for this back in the 80s. Yeah, the old Chelsea Smilers. If Nick Blue remembers who they were the worst around. The Chelsea Smilers about things like that. I don't. Do you remember them, Nick Blue? You probably would remember them. I don't know if he's still there. But
of course I remember. God,
they were the worst ever.
Even before the 80s, in the 70s, we had so many, man. We got rid of, thanks to Roman, thanks to Kante, he started it.
Yeah, Kante.
Slowly, Roman came in and got rid of everything. Now we have all this, we have it coming back. That's what's annoying me the most. It's all coming back.
Exactly, and the thing of all is, what I will say also is as well. Yeah, when we say we've got rid of it or we haven't, because then I don't know. I think about that poor guy on the train in the France match. We're going to Paris. What those fans did to him on the train, I can't get over that. Still, that annoyed me in itself as well. So it was. Some people say, "Oh, you cleared it all away." Some of it was still with some idiots out there that do that. But just going back to the main thing of this point, for these guys to even point that out in their eight points that they're making on there. Nah, man, that doesn't wash with me at all. And as I said, as I keep saying, and I'll continue saying it again, I don't want these people anywhere near our football club. Everything they've said on there for me is just all false and pretentious, just to get people on side, mate. So,
and it's working surprisingly, DJ. How are you surprised it's working?
With some of that, to be honest with you, I'm slightly surprised, but then at the same time, not the surprise, because I know there are some minority Chelsea fans out there, and thank God I don't associate with many of them, but I know some of them out there that do know who they are. Some of them are for the Ricketts, some of them are, and at the end of the day, I'm like, I don't know what you guys, what they obviously have no. I couldn't say that. I don't know if they're thinking about, I don't know, money and things like that. For me, money doesn't play a part in this. What's important is life and how we are as people, and having people like that running our football club. And at the end of the day, if we don't get a rich owner like Roman Abramovich, it doesn't matter. As long as we get someone in there that has got, who's going to look after the club, who's got moral standards, everything, standards meaning that they're following the books in terms of all this, getting diversity out, all racism and all that kind of. I want people, even if the person's not a rich owner, it doesn't bother me. Yeah. But I want someone who's going to be decent, who's going to run our football club, not some idiots out there, which which have got that with the big R at the back of their backs. But there are some Chelsea fans out there, unfortunately, that are minority. Very few of them that want the Ricketts. But I don't get them. Sometimes I feel, do they have morals, or do they have anything out there? Some of them obviously clearly don't.
Yeah, it is concerning indeed, but I think majority don't want them. I'm going to go through the chat and I'll come back to Nick Blue. Nick, I think you to tell us what he thinks about the fourth point, and I think Declan, you've talked about the fourth point, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Stavia said, okay, he's talking to somebody in the chat. Job Pagluka has a chance. We've talked about that on this show. First, even before we learned that they have an issue, we had concerns the fact that he owns 55% of Atalanta, but we didn't even know something even more serious will come up. So yeah, he has a chance given what he did on it. That is something that's been scrutinized on international scale. How are you, Sportswire? And if you haven't, please go check out Sportswire. He has a YouTube channel and is well acquainted with the structure of the club and financial aspect of the club. I think he has some great videos there that will help educate you on the finances of the club. Yeah, and that's them pleasantries. So Nick Blue, coming to you, what do you think about this? The fourth point, which says they will put diversity and inclusion at the heart of the club and fight against any form of discrimination or equality. To me, they're trying too hard. And like DJ Sav has explained, it's even an insult to include that, because that's something we already do at the club. That's what defines Chelsea Football Club. Your thoughts, Nick Blue?
Yeah, I'm not surprised they said that. That's just they're trying to cover themselves. And like we keep saying, they're trying to come over to the fan base like they're good people. Suddenly they become good. Makes me sick just to listen to them, because it's all lies. It's all lies. You can tell. If you're really intelligent, you can tell. It's just laughable. Really makes me laugh.
Really laughable. Yep.
It's laughable, and it's crazy. It's crazy. It's more crazy. I keep saying it because some fans believe in them now. And it showed from Saturday. You could tell. In the ground, I could tell when I was there in the ground as well, and I could tell. I'm waiting to see what it's going to be like Wednesday night, what the crowd are going to be like. They should be up for it. It's a quarter-final. I'll be there as well. Lucky enough, someone just sent me a ticket. I must be getting lucky suddenly, but I'm paying extra money for the tickets because I couldn't get one, as a member. Sally's a season ticket holder. He has his. You know,
Yeah.
I'll be in the West End, Sav.
Are you gonna be in the West End? I'll be in
West
the.
End lower.
I always. Whenever I go, I'm always in the Matthew Harding Upper. That's my place. Me, and my dad's place.
I
Matthew
was there
Harding Upper.
against Leeds United. I was there.
Were you? You see,
Yeah,
the thing is, I
3-2.
probably was there. I was there as well. But I didn't again because I didn't know who you look like, Nick. Now I know what you look like. Now I'll actually come and approach you now. See you in games.
Yeah, you know. Yeah,
now
I have
I know,
to put
bro.
my face on. Yeah, because now the only reason I don't put my camera, Coach knows I do. I want to, but when I do that, I just lose connection together. I don't know why. And when I'm like this, it goes on forever. I don't know what's going on with this. It's not, I only use a phone, my own phone. That's what I use.
Yeah. So
that's why.
you still on your point, Nick?
Yeah. The point is, don't be twisted by their words. It's just words. They're trying their best to win this battle, and I really hope they don't. But I still have faith in Roman, because Roman is going to, he's going to listen to everyone. He has to.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope Roman knows how we feel deep down. He knows he's a fan himself. And the last thing Roman wants is a racist owner. He won't want them. I'm backing Roman to do the right thing at the end of the day and put us all to rest and sleep well again, because it's been a long time to sleep. And that's the main thing. I'm just hoping Roman, once the next process comes, they will take it to the Rain Group. Rain Group will pass it to the board, and Roman will have the last say. Then it's up to the government. The thing what worries me is the government, because they could turn around to Roman.
I think in terms of the racism issue, the way they treat their employees, the Islamophobia comments and all that, the hate for Asian people, the comments they've made, I don't think the government will. That's not going to be the issue to them. The issue has to be deeper.
The coach, they're going to look at the money they can make. Don't forget that. And all these billionaires coming in suddenly with them, they're going to listen. But I just hope they don't go ahead and pick them, or tell Roman, no, you can't have Bolton, you can't have Todd. You have, I just hope that doesn't happen. But nothing will surprise me in this government. Nothing. But I hope they have the common sense.
All right, let's try and keep it less political.
I know.
Okay.
We've had
so now, before I read, you still saying something, Nick?
Yeah, that's the main thing. We have to pray and hope Roman does the right thing. End of the day, which I guarantee he will. That's why I'm still saying they ain't gonna win. I'll keep saying it. I'll be saying it all the time. But we have to go and have a big protest. Next week. This week we're going to see what they come out with the supporters groups. See what they say, and if they don't like it, I'm sure they're going to tell us to come out and vote in thousands. So let's wait and see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And blue morning to you, Thomas Scott. Nice to see you here. And I know it's news probably where you're at. To me, it's still it's 5:27 a.m. YouTube content creators and big social media accounts should keep the no Ricketts going. We should keep it going. The moment we stop talking, they will be emboldened. But that's by the way. Let's go to the fifth comment, which reads. It says that they will create an advice. And before I read this first, I'm going to keep clamoring this. I'm going to keep saying it. This is not an agreement. This is just a statement. This is just, let me say, they call it a pledge, which is another way to say promise in a professional, that is in a professional field, or in a business. In business, you're better off using the term or the word pledge. But it doesn't differ that much from the word promise. It is just more formal. So a promise, that is, if anybody breaks a promise, it is no offense. This is not an agreement. They are not obliged to fulfill anything here. Some of which we've established already are things that the club are already doing. For instance, point number 4. That's what defines Chelsea Football Club. So let's go ahead and read point number 5. They're saying they will create an advisory committee with diverse representation to ensure our decisions are informed by a former men's and women's first team player, member of the CST, that is the Chelsea Supporters Trust, and Chelsea pitch owners and influential community leaders. DJ, I'll start with you again. Your thoughts on point number 5.
Yeah, again, I think again, it's we were saying about reaching out to the fans, Coachila. I think we're now looking at the fact where they're now trying to reach out to representation now from the actual football club in itself, i.e., the pitch owners, and etc. Look, again, from what I've read, I don't know when the statement went out. I think a couple of weeks ago. About when the pitch owners put on there, or the trust people, the Chelsea Trust actually came out and said what kind of owners they really want running the football club. Okay, and obviously the Ricketts have obviously read that, and now obviously they're trying to find a way of, trying to get into their good books of trying to say yes, we can meet those requirements and those standards of what you're looking for. Again, I hope to God. Again, for me, it's just rubbish. I don't. As I keep saying, I won't believe anything they say. Again, they're trying to get everybody like on side to back them in this whole takeover of Chelsea Football Club. For me, I mean, again, I for one, again, I'm just going to look at that as say it's false pretenses again, and I really hope the Chelsea pitch owners and the Chelsea Trust actually look through them and see that and realise that you are not, regardless of whatever you're throwing at us and what you want to represent, how you want to represent we don't think you're the right person for this, regardless of what you're saying. So yeah, I mean, look, again, I don't believe any of it, Coach, and for me, it's just all falseness and fakeness from them. Big up to Matt, by the way.
Yeah, go ahead. You said.
No, it's just a big up to Matt in the comments. He just said
big up to Matt. He started a new channel called Z Volley. Go check it out. A good channel, good content. And if you check it out, if you like what you see, do subscribe to the channel. Matt is also a good, big time supporter of Chelsea perspective. And whenever he has time, he joins on the panel to express his opinion and himself. Nice to see you there, brother. I hope you are doing well. Now, Declan, I'll come to you before I go to Nick Blue. Let me read this comment. It says, DJ could see us being a great mates if I meet you at a game. Yeah, DJ knows the club very well and always finds a great balance between his opinion and reality. That's why I always like to have him on the panel. So DJ, you see, you made a friend. I know you've seen the comments yourself. They love you here. Declan, coming to you, your point, your thoughts on point number 5.
Yeah, this is the interesting one for me, and this is what was I predicted. When they met the Chelsea Trust, and then the Trust started changing their tune, because they must have suggested something like this, and the fact that it's going to be from Chelsea Trust Group, that's how they're swaying some of the favor from them. So that's someone. The rest of the other ones have been wasteful, but this is the one that actually we don't have, right? And for me, I think it's just they're going to put people in positions that have no influence, advisory position. What are they going to advise? Imagine getting a fan on a position that they're advisory, right? And make it diverse, so it doesn't matter. They didn't say they had to be experienced to anyone. They can get anyone, and then make them diverse. So they're going to judge them by their color of the skin, I guess, right? Which is quite interesting. No background. They're gonna make you diverse and inclusion, maybe your sexual preference and all that, and you have no input. Your input doesn't matter. You can sit there. You can talk all you want, right? And nothing's really gonna happen from it. And this is how they're gonna make it make everyone happy. And to be honest, I never wanted a fan on the board. It doesn't make sense. I just want people that know how to do their job. What's a fan on the board going to do? Or actually, it's not even the board. It's an advisory committee. You don't have to you don't have to include the advisory committee to anything. You can just say that's your title, and you don't do anything. So that is a PR stunt, which is different to the other ones, at least, right? But again, it's nothing. I mean, Chelsea already have this. They don't have an advisory committee, but they've committed to these values, and I find that rich coming from this group again.
Yeah,
they'll do anything.
I don't think. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, I think
I was going to say they'll do anything to try win fans over from their position. Like I said, this family haven't done anything to show. To show we've done this. They're showing, well, once we buy Chelsea, well, then we'll do this and that, right? But they haven't shown anything. So they're just doing. You can tell the intentions are just to win the fans over, and whatever it takes. They'll throw some money at it. This is what it takes, just to make some people happy. Once we get in, we can take all the money, and you can have your advisory committee that. But we want to take out some money out of this club.
Yeah, I think just quickly with this comment on the screen, yes, I think he does. I think he has a say on who becomes the new owners of Chelsea Football Club, because he has contact there who is Marina. And from what I've learned, I'm not sure. I cannot say that's what it is. Chelsea has the final say, and it's not about the highest bidder. You will meet you're required to meet certain criteria. And if you do, I don't think it comes down to who bids the most. Whose bid is the highest, if you ask me. He says Rory is someone we don't want. We get to that. So I think DJ have talked about this point, right? So Nick, your thoughts on point 5?
Yeah, I agree with Declare and South. Of course, they're going to try everything possible to make supporter groups listen. They're going to go in there, meet with them. They're going to talk all this what we've been hearing, reading on the statement. But we I don't think they're that stupid enough to believe everything. They must. They can't believe all this rubbish. So like I said, we have to wait till the end of the week to see what actually happens. I'm a member of the Chelsea Trust. You know that I told you before. And when they put us to vote, I voted against them. Like 77% did. So mostly all the members are against them. We are against them, but the only thing is, like Sav, you wrote to the trust and the supporters groups. They have to do more, not just talk with each other, and they come out in real life like we did on Saturday and get the fans to be there. That's your main priority. I'm still waiting for a reply from them, and the next letter I will send won't be so polite, because I have to start swearing at them because they're not doing what they promised. I know they make great money, but they're supposed to be with the fans and do what the fans want. So at the moment, they're not doing that. And I'm a member as well. So, I'm really annoyed, really pissed off with everything. There should be a lot more done, and we can if everyone wants to. That's the bad thing about it.
And DJ Sav is in 2 places providing great value. He's on the panel and he's also in the chat. And this comments here from DJ Sav reads, Rory Jennings, please. This guy was a Roman hater. He wanted a Roman out ages ago, was annoyed we got rid of Di Matteo and Frank Lampard. That shows you how poor is how that he has poor judgment. But that's by the way. Now, I think everybody have talked about the 5th point. So we go to the 6th point, and I want to start with you, DJ, and that's properly aligned with this comment from Yi Boy. But I'm going to read it first for you. The 6 point says explore every option to redevelop Stamford Bridge and do everything in our power to keep playing in this historic stadium. Oh my! This can this statement, this number 6 points can easily confuse the common Chelsea fan.
Yeah.
Because it's strategic. It is strategic. It is, how else do I explain it? But you go ahead, DJ.
Listen, I think like most of us here in the comment section, I'm sure Nick Blue and declared as well. I'm sure we all come out and say we love Stamford Bridge. It is our spiritual home. It has been, well, obviously for years on end, ever since I started going and following Chelsea. It's always been there. I can still remember the days when it had the old dog, the racetrack hound, the racing for the dogs around the ground. I remember that when it was there a long time ago. Going back to them days, it is a spiritual ground for Chelsea fans and for the club itself. We all know. Listen, we all know the pitch owners will not allow Chelsea to be moved on anyway because of that. Because I think everyone knows they are. I think that's always been in the contract. When Ken Bates was allowed them to have that kind of thing where Stamford Bridge was not allowed to be removed. Now look, I personally don't want us to move out of Stamford Bridge. If there's a way of redeveloping it, brilliant. But again, another PR stunt here because as I said, I think we alluded to it earlier on, Coachila. Any person coming in that's buying your football club and it knows our football ground needs to be expanded or it needs a new development, that's the first thing you're going to look at. And again, Roman Abramovich, I think one of the things he did say when the sale was going through, when you have to put the club up for sale, he wants somebody that's actually going to come in and redevelop Stamford Bridge. He didn't say about moving away from Stamford Bridge. Now, the hardest part of all will be here is if we cannot redevelop Stamford Bridge, because if you've been to Chelsea, you obviously know around you got all those electric power things, everything around you. It'll be very difficult to go higher up on it. But if there's a way of just expanding a certain amount of it to maybe 50, maybe 60,000, great. If we can do that, I for one hope we can do that. Would I be gutted if we were to leave Stamford Bridge over things? Yes, I would be. But again, this would be something that the Ricketts obviously would know anyway because it's been put in the plan what Roman's set out that this is what we need to do. But he's not actually specifically said. Obviously, leaving Chelsea, so redeveloping Stamford Bridge is the main factor. But again, I keep going back to the same old points that we've been making along, mate. These are all things they're trying to do to get people on side, trying to get the Chelsea fans on side. Trying to make the board. People like Bruce Buck, who probably will take more interest in this. And as I've said this on numerous occasions, and I'm sorry I'm going to say it again, he, for one, once Chelsea gets, whoever ends up buying Chelsea, I hope he's the first one to go because I don't want him anyway. I think he's bad news for our football club, to be honest with you. I mean, the guy should just stick to lawyers. He was a lawyer when he first came to Chelsea. He should stick to that. That's the best thing he knows. He being a chairman, the guy's got no clue.
It doesn't look like he's good at it.
No, he's not, mate. He's not. He's the one he was the one who was trying to get us into the Super League, yeah. And then again, everyone knew the protest that all the fans went and did out there to get us out of that. This guy's just about money. That's all it all comes down to. And again, it was done behind Roman's back because Roman Abramovich came out and said, "I don't want us to go in the Super League," and that was it. It was finished. End of conversation. The protest worked. We got out of it. So look, again, this guy again, like him and the Ricketts. They can. I'll say it again. They can just, in the terminology I'll say, is they can buck off. Again, don't want them anywhere near it. Again, it's just the same old scenario. It's the PR stunt. Everyone knows whoever comes in will redevelop Stamford Bridge, and that's it. So it's no different to what we already know.
Yeah, great point right there. I have saved this comment because I want us to round off with it. I think this he's responding to a question from. By Roman to stay at the bridge. Okay, that's a good one too. But this is the one I'm looking for us. I highlighted it for us to talk in combination with somebody. Do you think Roman has a final say? So let me highlight this one too. We will come back to it. So Declare, DJ, thank you very much for that great input right there. And yep, Bruce Buck is bad news. Like Bobby did put it yesterday. He's just like that bad uncle with a bad behavior will always come to a gathering and then disgrace every family
Typical
member.
Bobby comments. Big up to Bobby.
Exactly. So, yeah, Declan, coming to you. Your thoughts on point number 6?
Yeah, I mean, very good choice of words. I'm gonna explore, not necessarily do anything, right? Options redevelop. So if there's no option to redevelop, he's just gonna keep the stadium as is, and I mean, just like he did at the clubs. Everyone says Chicago Cubs stadium is one of the worst and oldest and needs it, and I think Ricketts really loved the fact that it's hard to develop Stamford Bridge because they can use that as an excuse. They can use.
Oh, stop!
Well, I
Stop
don't
is,
want to move
stop is,
anywhere.
I'm so sorry. Stop is killing me with this comment. Look what he has on the screen. Oh my gosh! Go ahead, Declan.
Yeah, I'll just say that. Yeah, I think the Ricketts love the fact that it's hard because they can use that excuse about, well, I don't want to move. It's historical and every PR not to spend money.
Mm-hmm. Are you still there, Declan? I think we lost you.
No, that was about it, really. It's
Mm-hmm.
just good choice of words that he's going to explore, not necessarily do anything, and that he's going to use he'll love to use.
Okay, given that one there, look at what look at what you boy said here. Given that point number 5, is this we're at 6, right? So I think I missed using this. I think I'm looking at the wrong one. I missed it, but that's by the way. But I get your point. Again, it says explore every option. I think I missed. I didn't highlight the particular comment I wanted us to compare with this. They made a great point that this comment leaves room that the fact there's still a possibility they can move to another place, which isn't easy, but it can happen. And if you're in the chat, let us know, or another panel, let us know if it is still possible to move to another place. If it is, I think these guys are greedy enough that they'd want to do that. That is, if they emerge as the new owners of Chelsea Football Club. Declan, don't you think they're leaving room that there's a chance that they will leave? Because since they are explore every option to explore, they didn't say with certainty, we're staying here. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I think it's in their best interest to stay. Why would they move?
You think so?
Well, we can't go nowhere. They don't have to invest in a stadium. Even though I thought that part of the commitment was that you had to develop or put money towards a stadium or upgrading the stadium. But so when he says explore every option to redevelop, he can stop and say, well, we explored every option and there's no way of doing it. But it's a great way. Every bidder group, I think, is committed to that anyway. I think it was part of the agreement that they had to commit something to that. So that point there, I think, is everyone's point, and it's nothing special. And the way he worded it was he can get out of it too.
Yeah. I think he leaves room that there's a chance that if they explore and there's no option there, they could leave. These guys they work with the smart people. They're smart too. They did not become billionaires by chance. It's because they're smart, they're business savvy. But that's, by the way, dear CSS, have you realized sometimes something? Every time Bruce Brock at the stadium, he is on the phone. Even pictures too. That's the truth. Majority of the time he is. Joe, the boy says, would they not need to change the name or logo if they moved? I say not to move. I say no to move, but evolve the bridge. I think that's the most viable option, is to evolve the bridge. I think it will be too expensive. If Roman couldn't do it, I don't think they would. Where are they going to move to? Roman has the money to actually pay off people to go to some other places, but I don't think it's about money this time. Joy the boy, they promised that in point 1. And staff says, good luck finding. Yeah, exactly. If Roman couldn't, would they? I don't think they would. So let's go to point number 7, and I'll read it in a bit. And DJ, I'll start with you again. Hopefully, you still have time. Point number 7 says, match the current commitment to Chelsea FC women and increase the number of women's matches played at Stamford Bridge. This to me sounds like some nonsense. It doesn't make sense to me. But then again, it's your turn, DJ. What do you think?
Listen, our ladies team, I have to say, at this moment in time, our ladies team are playing so brilliant at the moment under Emma Hayes. You know, when they say that to go and improve that team, I mean, what can you do to improve that team? They're just playing so fantastic. I watched them again yesterday. Absolutely brilliant. But in terms of these comments, the one thing I will agree on is one thing on there, and you know, and I know because most of the women teams that play, and from what I understand, they do play at their own home ground. I'm for one who would say, yeah, I would love to see the Chelsea ladies play more at Stamford Bridge in their home matches, rather than playing. I think it's at the Notts County Old Ground, the Meadow Game Meadow. I think they're at, or something like that, the Old Ground. And I'd rather see them play more at Stamford Bridge. And in terms of that, however, again, this is something I think this is something that would have been explored anyway by Roman. I think Roman would have done that eventually had he still stayed on his own. I don't think they would have stayed where they were at for too long. I think eventually there was one way of trying to, if Roman wanted to do any kind of other, bringing more income into the football club or doing things like that, I think that could have been one of the things you could have done, making more of these matches being played at Stamford Bridge when the men are not playing. However, at the end of the day, again, this is something that I would say again would be something that any owner probably would look at, including Roman, as I said. So again, this is not something that washes with me. Again, it's the same old thing as I was saying. They're just obviously trying to find ways of trying to get the ladies side, the ladies team on side, Emma Hayes on side. Yeah, Emma Hayes, because they know what an important factor she is at the football club. And they're probably thinking, yeah, if we can get her one of the most important factors, one of the most important members at the football club on board, she might be all for it as well. And again, I'm not going to go for that. And again, it's that word again, increase the number of, are you really going to do that? It's just something you're just putting down just to get yourselves on board. It's not 100% going to happen. But I will say one thing on it. I would love to see more of the ladies play more of their matches at Stamford Bridge. I think that would be great in terms of that.
They really did their research very well in terms of what to say to hit nerves from every angle. But great point right there from you, DJ. Declare your thoughts on point number 7. Declare, I think you're on mute. Yeah, we can hear you now.
Yeah, it's just like what DJ Sav was saying. Is exactly what I was saying. The women's team is one of the best in the world at the moment, or best in Europe. Sorry, I don't know how they compete in the world. And they make it out like we're committed to the women's team and increase in numbers played at Stamford Bridge. Maybe they got some ideas of really marketing it, or it's like what you guys said. They have really done their research on little points that and it's very very like them to see talking points of what people wanted to see at Chelsea, and they've just put them all there. They're not going to do it, and that makes it more sinister. That means they just put them there, and they're not going to do anything.
Yeah, and again, please here are the handles, the Twitter handles for all the people on the panel. Nick, please can you correct yours? Go follow them. Make sure to follow them, and also I hope I don't forget. But just really remind me to always add the information of the panelists in the description section, so that people that want to reach them will find a way to reach them. Now, Nick Blue, your thoughts on this point?
Yeah, I said it earlier on with you. I still, I still think the same. I get what Sam and Declare are saying. They're going to do. It's a usual story with them. They want to do everything, what the fans want. That's what they're saying, just to win votes. They want to win all the votes. But the one thing I keep thinking, I keep thinking maybe they want to get rid of King Meadow, where we own that ground, Chelsea women's team, and the women love that ground. The fans love going there. They have a good atmosphere there. And the other thing I'm thinking, maybe they want to, they can make more money. They can sell that and bring the ladies' team into Stamford Bridge. I wouldn't be surprised if they do that. That's just to make more money.
I think you make a good point there.
Yeah.
Declan usually catches that aspect. I'm surprised Declan didn't say that now. Because it's all about money for them. It's all about money for
I
them.
didn't know about the other ground and how good it is. Never been there. But Nick Blue, the man on the ground, to really show us that stuff.
Declare, the women's team, they love that ground.
They do.
The fans love it there. But
because sometimes these smaller grounds, when you don't have big fans, even Stamford Bridge, if we expand to the limit, people might say the atmosphere changes. Now it's 40K and it's real tight, great atmosphere. But then when we expand like that, so the women's team is the same thing. They don't bring in the numbers, right?
I'm just saying.
Yeah, it's closer to the ground.
I'm just saying, it's a small ground, Keep Meadow, but I'm just saying it could be what they're thinking, just to make more money. That's what they said, to bring the women to Stamford Bridge. We don't know.
And probably marketing it in a way where they want to,
we don't know. I don't trust them with anything.
Yeah.
I don't want them to come in. I'm hoping Roman does the right thing in the end, which I know he will. Yeah. But we don't want all these racist people in. And a great list they made, great points, or every single point what Chelsea fans want to hear. It's very funny, that is. But if our fans really listen to this rubbish, then they have no brains at all.
Yeah, Nick, some love from you from one of the Queens of the Heart, Just Viola. He said, "What? Nick is really clever." That's some love for you, and I think so. DJ, you wanted to add something?
Just Viola, I can be the king for you. You're the queen, I'll be your king.
That's a good line. That's a good line. That's a very, very powerful line. DJ, you wanted to add something?
No, listen, I think that's a very good that's a spot on line, Nick. That's a big up. That's a good line, mate.
Wow, that's a serious pick-up line right there.
I'm serious.
Mate.
If she's single, I'm serious.
Okay, that's a good one. DJ, you wanted to add something?
Now, listen, I think everything we've said on here, Coachila, I'll say the same thing again. All these points they're putting out for fans to get on side here is completely the opposite of everything. I know, like I said, there is a small minority of them out there that want them, but the majority, and as Nick keeps on saying, it's going to be Roman who makes that decision. And look, I think we also got to remember, do they not also have to pass this test as well before they're allowed to come into Chelsea? I mean, it's not only just the government one, do they also have to pass the Prem one as well? Surely they must fail on that one as well in terms of ownership in itself with them. So I
wouldn't trust that, Sav.
No,
to be honest. They should, so? Yeah. You think that in some level they should.
Yeah, yeah.
I could see them just easily passing it.
Well, yeah, that's the one thing. But look, as I said, hopefully Roman guys will make the right decision. And as Nick's pointed out several occasions and several times, he won't just take any person to take as to buy out. It will have to be someone he really, really does.
If there's anyone we can trust, is Roman. He's the only guy we trust in this whole thing. And he's come good for 20 years. And I'm sure he doesn't want bad for Chelsea Football Club. He's a fan like us. And he will be back at the bridge one day as a fan.
Yeah.
And also, I want to say, Mikhail, I know you all know who he is. He wrote an open letter to the prospective new owners, and you can find it on the Chelsea Perspective blog. I think I will show that letter before we end. It's very, very good. I think you need to go check it out. And please don't forget to read it, to leave a comment after reading the open letter to the prospective new Chelsea owner by Mikhail. Good letter. And if you're not following Mikhail, I think you will find the handle to his Twitter account in that within the page where the letter is. Please go check it out on the Chelsea, ChelseaPerspective.com. So, DJ, I'll start with you because you're already there. The 8th point says that they will continue the vital charitable work of the Chelsea Foundation, seeking to use the power of football and sports. Why is it cut off? But I know you already know the point, DJ.
Yeah. Listen, that one completely is a false point altogether. Look, even without the owners at the football club, we can still do charitable work, and Chelsea are known for doing it anyway. Yeah, so I don't understand why this is even come into again. This is again another spin of what you expect them to do anyway. For any owner coming to a football club, but the club are doing it so well at the moment, and by them just saying, "Oh, we can come and do whatever." Do the club really need any backing? I think if you look at our situation, wasn't Roman Abramovich trying to sign off Chelsea to the charitable organisations, and it was one of the things he wanted to go and do, originally when this whole thing came before he got sanctioned. So look, we all know already where we are in terms of that. So I don't get why this has even been mentioned in there. But again, for charity, for me in charity, for charity and things like that, I obviously respect that, because obviously it's nice to help out charities. We do a lot of it ourselves, generally. I can see that, but the football club does it anyway, and it's got a huge backers to do that anyway. So again, this is just another line to say we're going to increase it and be better. But we already know the club will already do that anyway, without their backing or whatever it might be. The club will do this anyway, because that's what Chelsea do in general.
Yeah, that's what we're doing already. So it's not new to us. They're just trying to take credit for what we're doing already and make themselves look good. And just Viola, who's referencing the article I talked about, she said that's a brilliant article by Mikhail. And just Viola, you owe us a comment. Since you read it, you should have left a comment. And I'm not going to believe you read it until you leave a comment. I know you did already, but you should leave a comment. Just Viola, please do, because it's a good article indeed. If you haven't read it, go to chelseaperspective.com. It is highlighted. That's one of the first things you'd see, an open letter to the prospective new Chelsea owners. And that's, by the way, it's being reported they won't be major shareholders, says staff. I think I think the other two guys will probably have bigger shares because they have more money. That you'd think so, but you never know. We're not there. We're not sure how they're contributing to the consortium. That's just Michael appreciating
about
the
a statement on that too, or ask a question?
Go ahead.
Come across. If they're not the major shareholders, why is anyone bothered with them? What's the benefit of having the Ricketts on board a consortium that they're not the major shareholder? Why are they're
leading the consortium, right?
Yeah, they're such a bad faith, and they're the minor shareholder. So why keep them on board? Why didn't that group would have such a better chance if this was the case against without the Ricketts? Why do they need the Ricketts if they're the minor shareholder? Because they don't, and they would be in a way better position if they got rid of them. So the Ricketts must bring something more to the group than just money. And if it goes back to just that connection of the Rain Group, and that's what they bring to the group, or because there has to be something useful, or else why wasn't the consortium just cut them out? They're bad press, cut them out, and now all of a sudden they'll be one of the big contenders without all this PR, without all this negative energy, because it's all going against them. So the Ricketts must bring something more than we think. If this is the case, if they are the minor shareholder, then these questions are asked of why are they in the group, and why are they the face? Anyone else could be the face and way better. Why they're the worst group to be the face of. So any of the groups could have done a better job being the face of Chelsea.
That's such a great point. That's such a great point he's making as well. Declared. That's a fantastic point. That is very true. Why?
Yeah. Go ahead, DJ.
To be honest with you, that's. You know what? I don't really know the answer to that one. To be honest with you, I mean, you're right. I mean, there could be others out there that could have been. I mean, there must be something else, as you said. But again, I mean, I don't know. Other groups could have done the same thing. I mean, you look at the groups that were gonna originally that were in the mix. Surely they must have the same scenario. I mean, then I don't know. I don't know. Maybe someone will have to come to know on that one. I don't know.
Yeah, and I think given this comment here, I think really it's about time we start looking at Ken Griffin himself, because and DJ that I think Declan did make a good point. If we're thinking that the Ricketts and major shareholders, why are they the ones taking the responsibility, putting out statements, meeting with people? So if it's not about the money, then they must be providing something else that's even more valuable than the contributions of other people that make up the group, which is what comes to mind next to me. If you ask me, would be their connection, and maybe or the properly linked. Maybe they bring the possibility of that group becoming the new owners of Chelsea Football Club. So you make a great point there. And I'm not well acquainted with Ken Griffin issues. Maybe I should start paying attention to it. Yeah, I think it's something that I should be looking at. He says Ken Griffin pays 100 million for a basket. I don't know how you pronounce that, painting amid racial protests. So that is a big problem too. But like I said, I have to do a big research on that, so I'm sure of what I'm speaking about. DJ, you've talked about this the point number 8, right? Declan, you've talked about point number 8, have you?
Yep. Have I?
Yeah, I think you have. So now let's talk about something else. I'm starting with this comment here. Where is it? I think the comment from Deals CLC. Yes, the finance says Roman. I think I'm looking for that. Yes, this question here says it's not this one. It says this comment here, which has you think Roman Abramovich has the final say. So my point is, if this is the case, why are we even worried? Why are we even bothered about the Ricketts? We shouldn't, if this is the case. So DJ, I'm starting with you.
Yeah.
Your thoughts?
I think when this whole process started, apparently Roman was the main. It would go through Roman. If he'll get the final say, obviously he won't get any of the money, but he does have a say in who he wants as owners to come to the football club. And then you're hearing different stories being mixed up, saying he doesn't get a say. It's all done by the government and the Rain Group. And then then it goes to Bruce Buck, Marina Graverskaya, and is it Eugene Timmerman, and then also this other guy who's gone on there now. Is it David Bernard is now gone on there as well? They'll all then get the final say of what happens afterwards. But look, I for one hope and think that it will still be Roman. He has a right to. Even though he doesn't have, he's sanctioned, but he still has a right to say who he wants to come in as owner. It was his football club. It is his football club after all. He's laid down all the, as I said, he's laid down all the groundwork of what he wants. He's told the Rain Group what the owner must do. So I don't understand if he doesn't get the final say in it, or why is that? But then, as I said, I've been hearing mixed bags still. Yes, he does get a final say. Then I've heard the government get the final say. Then it's still. I mean, I don't know. Maybe. I mean, I think Nick's pointed out quite a lot that Roman does get the final say on it. So Nick probably knows more on this than I do. So he probably would be the best one to ask on this one, Coachila. I mean, as far as I thought, he does, but then mixed comments coming.
Sav. Yeah. Look. At the end of the day, it's up to Roman. Roman's going to take it to the government. He's going to say, this is the people I want.
Yeah.
And it's up to the government to approve it. They're going to approve or not approve it. So if they don't approve what Roman wants, the first people, then he's going to have to say someone else. And it's up to, the government have to approve and make sure the money doesn't go to Roman. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, I know that.
But Roman does have it's Roman's club. It's up to Roman. That's for sure. So that's why I'm not that
Government
worried.
get the last say,
worried. Yeah, go on.
the government get the last say.
Oh, how?
Yeah,
How do
the
you mean by
government. The government.
The government and the Premier League get
the
to.
Premier League. Sorry.
They
the
said they made
through
it in a
through
statement.
a vetting process. Through that is they vet the person to show they don't
Yeah.
have any. Yeah,
The Premier
it's not
League
like
have
they
to-
say, okay, we want these people to be the owner. No, it depends on the outcome of their investigation of the. Yeah, go ahead.
Exactly.
Yeah, they do have that kind of
That's
power.
what I'm saying, declare. The
Yeah,
Premier
but
League,
I
of
don't
course
think that
does.
means they have the final say.
Who? The government.
They have the final say. So Roman
Yes.
gets to put
Yeah.
forth, I'm going to do the sale,
That's what I'm
and
saying.
the government and the Premier League get the final say.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I'm confused here. The Premier League and the government has the final say. How?
Because they have to approve the new owners.
Yes.
If they say no, then they can't go
That
through.
doesn't mean
Like
they have the
say-
final say. I think
Coach.
because
Wait a minute, let me finish what I was trying
Well, it
to
depends
say.
how we're defining final say.
exactly
if
depends on
if
how the
Roman-
individual defines final say. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
if you're saying that if you don't, for me, I look at it as Roman gets to choose at the end, or the board. We don't know because there's still a good chance that Roman has been more worried about peace talks and left it all to the board, right? And so maybe Roman doesn't have a say, but whoever's from the Chelsea side picking, they have to choose and agree on the sale, and then put forth to the EPL. That's normal, right? But now the government has also a say. And if they
do
approve
have
it,
a
then it'll go
say
through.
in the sense that they will vet the group.
Yes, but the Premier League vetting the group is normal, right? But the UK government vetting the group is a different kind of issue. So if any of these processes are influenced or corrupt, or maybe not, maybe a bit more stricter than you think, right? Then they can't deny a buyer for whatever reason.
Okay, and again, here's this comment from Fraser that says Roman has to say because he has to sign the papers, the paper documents. Yeah, he should, because before the sale is complete, he has to sign. So if he doesn't sign, the process will never be complete. And again, from my understanding, and that's why I'm still asking, if Roman has the final say, why are we even worried about the Ricketts? So if Roman is still part of the process and he's promised to make sure to ensure the well-being of the club no matter the situation, and he's done some stuff like trying to hand over the club to the trustee and also trying to distance himself from the club and also not taking the profits, not taking the proceeds from the sale of the club, shows how much he cares about the club. If in fact those things are really what they seem to us, at least on a surface level, if the Ricketts ends up emerging as the new owners of Chelsea Football Club, whereas Roman had the final say, then something is definitely wrong on a deeper level. But I'll come to you. Come back to you, DJ.
Can we ask that question?
Go ahead.
Let me
go ahead.
let me finish the point. Yeah.
I was just going to make one sentence, Nick.
Yeah. All right, go on.
Like I asked the same question. How did the Ricketts make the shortlist if Roman had some kind of influence? You know what I mean? Or is it out of his hands on who makes the shortlist? Because that's uncontrollable too. And you thought maybe Roman would have stepped in by now after seeing all this on all the negative feedback on the Ricketts and say they shouldn't be on the shortlist. Why hasn't he stepped in now?
Because he
why
put declare he put the Rain group for that reason. It's the Rain group had to
Well, even
choose,
now, Nick,
the bidders.
The Ricketts have visited
nothing's
Stamford
finished.
Bridge. They're getting to talk to everyone. Do you know what I mean? Why even bother?
You're right.
You should just come to go home.
Yeah, they have to, because the other bidders have the chance. They have to have the same. That's
All
the
right.
Rain group.
Okay, I'm going to go back to DJ with this comment on the screen. DJ, I'm sure you've seen this statement. Your thoughts?
Yeah. Roman has a...
It says Roman has to say because he has to sign the paper documents. Yeah, he should.
He should do. But can I just ask another question? Because I think what's getting to me is when this whole thing started, there was a thing known as conflict of interest.
Yes.
Right. So haven't the Rain Group worked with the Ricketts before?
Yeah, they have. Yeah.
Okay, so that in itself is, and then Bruce Buck then coming into it, isn't that kind of like being conflict of interest, or am I getting this all mixed up here? Because
on so many levels.
So why are they even in the conversation if it's conflict of interest? They shouldn't even be anywhere near the conversation. Because if you think about all the other groups, if you think about all the other groups, okay, that were interested, okay, you had obviously you had the Saudi media group, you got the Bowleys, you've got who's the other one, Nick Candy. You had all those ones that were all interested in buying Chelsea, but there was no conflict of interest. Now, the only reason why Nick Candy, I think, didn't get anywhere because of his ties, and I think his ties were more to the government. That's probably why it got down to that stage, and why he didn't in the end get anything or get anywhere. That's what I personally think. It wasn't anything else. I think it was just mainly that. But these people are still conflict of interest. This is why I don't understand why they're even in the conversation, if that is the case. I mean, we saw the pictures of them flying, coming down to Stamford Bridge. They were flying out to meet all the Chelsea, whatever hierarchy and all that kind of stuff. I'm thinking to myself, well, really, they shouldn't be doing that. I mean, I've not seen and the other thing I was also going to say, the four people that have been put on this short list, I've not seen the Bowleys visit Stamford Bridge yet, and I've not seen the other guy, the Chelsea fan, the one who's what's his name, Sir Martin Brampton. He's the other guy. Yeah, I've not seen him anywhere near there.
Yeah, no one's been near. Yeah, you know what? It's because of Bruce Buck. He's been.
That's what I was going to say, bro. Bruce Buck.
Yeah, Bruce Buck is the problem. Yeah. He's with the Ricketts. That's why they're there. That's why they have. They have a chance because of Bruce Buck. But in the end of the day, Roman told him to fuck off for the Super League, and he can tell him that again. Yeah. That's what I'm waiting for.
So DJ, overall, do you still think Roman has a final say?
Of course he does.
Because if that's truly the case, he's proven to us time and time again he cares about the club.
Yeah,
he doesnn't like discrimination of any sort. Given that he's Jewish himself, he has grounds enough that is to hate any sort of discrimination. So if he has a final say, then we shouldn't even, to any measure, be concerned about this guy, no matter how we think the whole process is rigged, except if somebody's misleading him and not telling him how the fans are pushing back and not educating him on the background of the Ricketts family. Because if Roman knew nothing, because I don't know who said it on the panel, that Roman knew nothing about Chelsea's involvement in the Super League until the fans started pushing back, then there's a chance that Roman will know nothing about the backgrounds of the Ricketts until it's too late.
Yeah, but it won't come down to that.
I'm just saying, Nick, do you want me to explain myself again? It's a serious concern.
I know what you're saying, but look, Roman, he's busy, very busy now trying to stop this war. But
that's another point. He's very busy, and that means there's a chance he knows nothing about this guy.
He doesn't know everything probably about them. Like
then we're doomed. If that's the case, DJ. Okay, I'll come back to you, DJ. Your thoughts.
The thing of all is, bro, you see what it is we've just said it, and it's 100%. Roman at the moment is trying to sort out these peace talks, But what he's gone and done is he's gone and put trusty lieutenants who are supposed to be his other ones under him to get this deal sorted out. Now, from what I'm seeing of it all, if this whole group is supposed to be together, it doesn't look like Marina Graverskaya is getting a say in it. It doesn't seem like. It doesn't look like David Barnard is getting a say in it. Okay, it looks like Bruce Buck is the only one that seems to be leading this. Okay, and if that is the case, shouldn't it be a joint decision? And that's how I look at it. If Roman Abramovich has put all these lot in charge to make the right decision, and then he says, "Okay, I trust you guys to get it all done. If I'm happy with it, I'll sign whatever I need to sign off. Government, whatever he needs to do." However, I'm sure he's also told them, make sure you choose your owners correctly. You know what we've done for this football club, how I've done everything I can with this football in terms of fighting all the racism, fighting all this stuff that comes with it. Obviously, Ken Bates did it before he did it. And then you got this idiot Buck who's going to probably try and ruin it all, because I'm blaming him for this all. Okay, who's for some reason or another is interacting with the Ricketts to come and buy our football club when he knows the fans are going to give a complete backlash on it all, and they don't want him. They don't want him. So for me, I personally think Roman does get the final. He has to sign it all off. And again, I'm sure Roman will go to the government and say, look, yeah, they've gone and chosen these people, but look at their background. I don't want these people running the football ground. And if our country, and look, let's be honest, again, going back to politics, what we're all fighting for in this country, and especially Johnson and people, I don't think they're going to want people like that associated with the football club. That's what you'd hope. Yeah. So I'm hoping Roman does get this day.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying Roman gets an answer. Look, he's got the Czech Marina, the rest of the board there. They're going to tell him what they heard, and they're going to tell him everything, and he's going to tell back to get lost in the end, like he did before.
But Nick, can I ask you a question? Will Marina actually get much of a say in it? Because it looks like Bruce Buck seems to be the guy.
Yeah, because he's Bruce Buck is a chairman, though. He's a chairman. So and he's obvious he's push. We have full faith in Roman, Marina, Czech, a couple of others, but
that's a big problem. And that's a big problem. Nick, I'll come back to you again, but I want to let VJ know we're already about to round up. So coming in with him, I think it's a bit too late now. I'm going to come back to you again, Nick Blue. But to you now, declared, Bruce Buck was there, Marina was there, and who again? Peter Cech was there, and the other guy was there. They were all there when we joined the European Super League. And as from what I've learned, I'm not sure if that is even possible for Roman not to know that the club wanted to join the European Super League. If he knew, then these guys convinced him. Because I'm not sure even Bruce Buck went to him and said, look, we're joining the Super League and it's going to be huge and we're going to make a whole lot of money with it. I don't think Roman would just jump into it without speaking with Marina. Because he's most trusted of all those people. Now, the question is, since he spoke to Marina, I don't think she did her research very well. Because I don't think those that are made us join the Super League knew that is the type, the size, the magnitude of the flash that is what's it called, the pushback that they get from the Chelsea fans and even non-Chelsea fans, non-top four clubs too. So what I want to ask you, Declan, even if Roman has the final say, do you think they tell him the truth about what's going on? Because I don't think Roman at this point, given how busy he is also, will have the time to be checking social media and find out what's going on. Do you think there's a chance he will know that these guys are bad news for us in terms of PR? They are against everything, policies that define Chelsea Football Club. Do you think he'd know? Do you think Marina will go to him even if Bruce Buck says, I think these guys are better, they're better equipped to take care of the club? Do you think Marina will go and say, no, we have a problem here. The fans don't want him. And look at the type of history they have. Do you think it will happen?
You'd like to think so. You'd like to think that Marina is reporting everything back. But maybe that's not the most important thing at the moment for them. Maybe it's all about finances, and that's all they're worried about. And that's why I don't get. If that was the case, wouldn't Roman have acted earlier and say, you shouldn't make the shortlist? This family can't come in. They shouldn't make the shortlist. Or did he have no say? And I'm worried that if he has a say or not, if he's just left it, like they just have said it for his lieutenants, if he's got more pressing matters. I mean, if he's so entrenched in peace talks, maybe that's his focus. And Chelsea isn't at the moment, and he's just letting other people manage that. And so he probably hasn't had any say. And I'm really holding hope that he does look at this. He looks at what the fans want, and he actually speaks up against them, because maybe he's just waiting to see how it plays out. And the voice against the Ricketts hasn't been that loud. The protest wasn't wasn't as big as a Super League to make, but it did make Sky News. So maybe he has seen it. So hopefully, if he hasn't, then he sees it late and he gets to act on it. We are putting all our hope that Roman is going to make the right choice at the end, in some way. We there is zero transparency. We don't understand how the process works. That we're all scared of the chance that this group has to get in, and they shouldn't even have a chance. And we're all just holding hope that Roman actually has a say and can choose who he wants, and then we're hoping that the Ricketts have no chance from that. So we're just holding hope. We don't even know.
Yeah, indeed, we're holding hopes. We're not certain what's going to happen. And great points here from the staff saying Rain a bank. It's not a conflict of Ricketts still have to comply. That's the truth. They still have to comply. But then again, you could argue otherwise because they started on a position from just in 2020. So that alone is an issue, if you ask me. But I get your point. Anyway, DJ, before I come to you to let me know what you think about the fact that Roman may not be educated on the background of these guys and may not know what's going on. It might not be know even anything about the pushback from the fan base. And this, let me go through this quickly. Marina will make decision, not Box. So have faith in Marina. I still have faith in Marina, but who would have thought that a corporate lawyer in Bruce Buck, who understands quite well that he shouldn't be doing such, will arrange a meeting between the Ricketts and Paul Canoville and still sat at the meeting. That's I don't understand. And Hamsmaster says, yo, and he says, DJ, are you still Timo in? That's a good one.
I know, big up Hamsmaster.
Yeah.
I know who he is.
Hams knows you're Timo's lawyer.
I know, he knows.
Yeah.
I knew him from. Yeah.
Yeah. So Hamsmaster, I've been trying to reach you, bro. Please check your inbox. I want you on one of these days on the Blue Mountain Show. I like to listen to you talk football, especially when it comes to Chelsea. Our boy Conor Gallagher gonna cook up Arsenal tonight. I hope that happens. And well, again, Marina has the decision. DJ, I hope so. But I hope we're not disappointed. Have faith. Marina has been good in negotiations, but signing Timo was her biggest failure. You tried to start a fight with DJ, and then Stav also, who's in the chat, who loves Marina so much. Again, CPO, Chelsea Pitch Owners, and Chelsea Supporters Trust wanted Bruce Buck gone because of Super League, but Roman decided to keep him. Which means shows Roman was informed, which means he gave the go ahead. That's what this comment means to me. Again, anything else to read here? Hams, take a break. Marina is on the scout. I knew Star must respond to that. But that's fine. True. Just on making the point, the people who had faith in Timo come out. I had faith in him too, but DJ was his lawyer. The only thing he didn't do was to punch somebody because of Timo Werner. And Hams, please reach out to me. I want to get you on board on one of the show, one of the Blue Money show. Todd Bally deal is strong, cash free of any debt financing. That's good to see. Bruce Buck by Ricketts family, possibly. Staff says Jay, the boy Bolly, and ways not spending their own money. None of them were like I've learned from Staff here too. Czech and Marina looks like a good matchup. They're both around each other with their phone. And yeah, and if you notice, they both always sit far away from Bruce Buck. I haven't seen them sit together. If you have, let me know. But that's, by the way, DJ, I'm going to come to you again. Are you concerned really that Roman may be poorly educated or may not be aware of the background of the Ricketts family and may not get the chance to know, and it will be too late by the time he knows?
No, 100%. If he was, but look, I think that Roman, you don't make your money like Roman did if you're not clever or intelligent or smart. Yeah, let's put it out there. I'm sure Roman would be fully aware of it. I mean, look, the guy. We all know what the guy has done with the football club, fighting all this stuff that we all don't like about the Ricketts and what we what a taste it leaves in their mouths about him in general. And I'm sure Roman will be fully aware of that all. And I think he would. I don't think he would want to. I don't think he'd want people like that associated with the football club, especially with, you know, we got to remember that Chelsea Football Club was his well, people called it a toy. I don't think it was a toy. People, you know, in the very beginning when he first started out, I could understand why people were thinking that, but in the end, he became a fan. He loved the club. He was doing everything with the football club, and you know, he's seen that through. Look at the success we've made. We've been with him at the helm and stuff like that. So I don't think he would for one reason give the club to some, you know, to these people. So he would be fully aware. I'd expect his trusted people to inform him anyway of what the situation is. And, you know, and I'm sure he has to find a way of knowing about these people's backgrounds before even making a decision. So I personally think he would be aware. I still don't think the Ricketts will get Chelsea. I think in the end, I do believe the protests and the fans being totally against them will hopefully work in our favour as it did with us in the Super League. And, you know, when that came along, and we know what happened there. So I, for one, hope it doesn't happen. And I'm sure Roman will as well. I mean, look, as I said, he's an intelligent guy. Even though he's involved in these talks, he still knows what's going on.
Yeah, he is. And staff just wanted to make me know, educate us on why you often don't see Bruce Buck sitting with Petr Cech. He says Buck as chairman sits with opponents, owners, and chair people. Okay, that makes sense to me now.
Yeah,
and thank you for that. And Lucky Peter, he says, and Sakari, I think this is the first time I'm seeing you here. Please, if you haven't, make sure to like the video and also subscribe to the channel. If you haven't, that will go a long way for us. And DJ, thank you for that great input. I think we'll round off in a few minutes, but there's something I wanted to talk about. That's why Kante is on the thumbnail. And staff say, okay, and staff says Buck chairman. Okay, he already read that. And Roman even sat with the fans. He loves Chelsea. Yeah, he loves Chelsea. And this is PR at its best. He's talking about the 8 points, the promises are, you know, pledged by the Ricketts family. And Halftime TV is another great YouTube channel. This guy is good at football, analytical mind. I urge you to go check his channel, and believe me, you will like it. You will not be disappointed. Nice to see you here, Norando. I hope you're good, brother. And Olupo said Roman may be too busy to worry about Chelsea at the moment. You know, the negotiation going on in Ukraine. Yeah, you know, yeah, I think that's the truth. And that's why I'm really concerned. Even when he was less busy, he was poorly educated on what the outcome could be if Chelsea joined the Super League. So this time, I think, I hope somebody finds a way. Maybe his children are following the whole situation, or maybe some other eyes and foot he has on the ground will let him know these guys are bad news. If not, we're probably doomed. He says, okay, she's a good-looking lady. Okay, I'm not going to talk about that right now. So DJ, immediately, quickly, let's round off with this man right here, N'Golo Kante. I saw some stuff on the news that Madrid are looking to sign him. Is that nonsense, or do you think it's true?
Nonsense. Listen, since this whole thing with Chelsea started, right, all I've basically seen, you know, is players going here, players going there, players are going to leave, players are going to get out of Chelsea. Well, I think people have got to understand, and especially the media out there have got to understand, okay? The only players that are in danger of leaving Chelsea Football Club are Rudiger. Well, Aspie not anymore because he's signed on that 1 year roll-on contract and he's going to be at Chelsea next season. And obviously Christensen, because we both know they're all out of contract. We all know they're all out of contract. Kante's still in contract. Okay, Jorginho's still in contract. Everyone is still in contract. Maybe till next year their contracts run out. But like they said, until the club is bought, no player is going to be leaving this football club. And I think people have got to understand that and realise that. And even if the new owners do come in, then we'll cross that bridge if it comes to it. I, for one, can't see Kante going anywhere. We all know how vital is Thomas Tuchel's plans in the team. Okay, yes, he didn't have one of his best games. I was at the game on Saturday. He didn't have one of his best games for us in a Chelsea shirt. But then, nor did the whole team play well. You know, it wasn't just Kante. The whole team did not play well. Rudiger's finish was absolutely brilliant. okay, as we all know, again. But other than that, the team didn't play well at all. And, you know, and so for me, no, I can't see this even happening until we get new owners in, until the people know, until we know where the players stand, then we can maybe see movement happening. But until then, no, he's going to go nowhere. That's just my take on it.
Yeah. Yes, declare your thoughts.
On Kante, you know, I've asked this question before on when he started missing a lot of games. He's our second highest paid player. Is it a question about should we let him go? This was before the ownership and all that. I've been asking this question for a bit. He's maybe he's not the player he used to be. And like I said, these wages prevent other players coming in. So if he wants to leave, I don't think Chelsea should stand in the way.
Yeah, but then again, where DJ did make it clear, and I think it's nonsense also. I don't think it's true. If he wants to leave, I don't think we should stand on his way. But the fact is, I think he's irreplaceable, and I think we should just find the way that is a more effective way to utilize him. I think letting him go will be a mistake if you ask me. I'd say also if he wants to leave, and if there's a solid reason for that. And I think Kante will always ask to leave Chelsea if he starts to play less and less games. But at this point, I don't think he's asked to leave. So it's irrelevant anyway. But thank you very much for that input. Nick Blue, before I bring in Max, let me just say, Max, welcome to the panel. How are you doing, brother?
Yeah, hi.
Hey, big up, Max.
I'm good. I'm not here for long. I'm just here for a bit because I was actually listening to this during my lunch hour. So,
Okay.
and I heard my name mentioned, so I just want to come in and clarify my position.
Big up to Max.
Max is here to fight.
I'm just here to clarify my position, really. So
yes.
I'm not here for long because I'm still working. But the tweet I made the other day is not that I'm siding or tending or sort of moving towards the Ricketts. I'm not. I was throwing out a gauntlet to them because they've put out this 8-point statement. I said, okay, if you are willing to change, and you said you're willing to change, then make it so that it's binding. I said, make it so that, I said, put it in the contract that if you break any of these agreements, then you could sell the club. So this was thrown out the gauntlet. Not that, am I saying that I want them? No, but because I'm saying words can be cheap. People can say whatever they want to, because we hear that with politicians all the time. They say what they want you, they want you to get your votes, and then when they do come in, they do exactly the opposite. So I'm saying, if you're true and you're genuine with the statements that you're making, then make it part of the contract agreement that you'll keep to this or you're gone, basically.
And I hope I did not misquote you by saying you said you're willing to give them a chance.
Yeah, I said I was willing to give them a chance if they are genuine because everyone has a past.
And let me also make a point clear. That's not me judging you. And DJ, I said that, right?
I know. I heard that. I did hear
exactly.
That.
Yeah. So go ahead.
Clarify my position. Everyone has a past. It's not what you do in the past. It's how you do it. What you do in the future. Okay. And we just know about their racism because they've been open about it. We don't know whether behind closed doors, Mr. Bowley has made some comments. We don't know that because nothing's come out in the open. There are people with these kind of views. Some have it hidden, some have it up front. Okay, so if these guys are coming in and it's affecting the club in a negative way through sort of racism, whatever, then I'm not for that. But if anything, they'll probably be trying to overcompensate to prove that they're not. And it's how they run the club. I said, I don't. As I keep saying, I don't want them as part of the club, but it's about what they do going forward. For me, that is important. And the two guys who are coming in as well, who are this Ken Griffin and the other guy, I can't remember who he was now, the Cleveland's guy. Who would be running the club as well? We would be the major shareholder, because I know that Matt Law did post something the other day where it said that they will. It's undecided who will be the major person in that group, in that consortium, because he's putting in the most money. We don't know that. Yeah, but personally, I don't think they'll get it anyway. They're trying too hard now. For me, if they're trying too hard with the PR, that means that your bid is
But
running.
you have time. I was going to ask you this, Max.
Mm-hmm.
You still there, Max? If you still have a minute, I want to ask you this question quickly.
Yeah, go ahead.
How about if Roman is poorly educated on the background of these guys, and he hears from Bruce Buck saying, I think this is our best choice, and Marina goes and said nothing about the history and background of these guys, just like, he was poorly educated on what could the possible, that is outcome of what will happen before Chelsea joined the Super League. Because our only hope is Roman.
Listen, Roman's not silly. He'll be on top of everything. He's still a Chelsea fan at the end of the day. He's going to know what's been said about it. He's going to know about the fans' disapproval of this. It doesn't matter what Bruce Buck says or anyone else. He's going to be looking at the fans' reaction, because he wants, at the end of the day, he doesn't want to leave his legacy in a bad, with a bad taste. If he's handing it over, he's partly responsible, isn't he? Because he's given the keys to somebody who the Chelsea fans don't want. So he's always said he wants the custodians to be somebody who's going to take the club forward, who's going to have the fans at heart as well, who can help us with that continued success on and off the pitch. And it's about having that unity. He saw what happened with Rafa Benitez when he was appointed, and that's why he sort of appeased the fans by bringing back fans' favourite Jose Mourinho afterwards. So he's not gonna want to leave a great legacy with all the fans are going to remember is he's the one who sold the club to these people as well, and so he doesn't want that. He had a good start. He wants a good finish as well. So I think that he'll do the right thing ultimately.
Yeah, I think I believe you, Max, and I appreciate you finding time to join us. And also, I wanted to thank you and let you know, yes, we've hit 1,000 subscribers. Right now, we're at 1,000 and 120 plus subscribers. That means a lot. We've been also monetized, and I couldn't have done it without you. And I remember you openly suggesting people go subscribe to my channel while you're on Green Tough, which isn't even your channel. That means a lot to me. And again, I hope using you as an example didn't come across as insulting.
No. Listen.
Thank you.
I'm okay with that, because anyone knows me, I'm not easily offended, and I don't. I just saw that as an example, and it wasn't a criticism. But I just wanted to come on just to say what my stance was on the matter.
Thank you very much, and I appreciate that. I always like to have you on the panel because I like listening to you talk football, and whenever time allows, I'd like to have you on one of the Blue Morning shows.
The time is on, because
I know.
It's quite hard for me, but I will try and jump on now and again.
Yeah, weekends, whenever you have time, I'd always welcome you.
Big up to you, Max.
Yes, thank you very much, Max. I appreciate you finding time to join. Everybody go check out Button Ballers. He's participated, so you will most definitely find his information in the description section. Make sure to subscribe. He knows Chelsea very well and has been a Chelsea fan for a long time. And listening to him, you see how he explained his comments, and it makes sense. And before time, it wasn't an accusation, and I know him. He's smart enough to understand it, and he's explained it's nothing. I just used it as an example that the Ricketts effort somehow is hitting nerves to some angle, but he has explained very well. And big up to you, Ty Talks, another great channel and a brother. Go check out his channel. He's young, but he understands football. And if you listen to him, I can assure you, you'd like to listen to him more and more. So, DJ, your final, Max, your final thoughts, if you're still there.
Take care, Max.
Yeah, well, I'll do my final points. Yeah, as I said beforehand, and I ultimately, I think we'll do the right thing. Okay, we will do the right thing. We will.
Thank you.
Appoint the
right
you.
I still believe
person. I believe so. we tend to panic a lot as a club before the event, because sometimes we panic here, and then
Yeah.
when it happens, something happens, then it's like, okay, it wasn't that bad, and we were sort of panicking over nothing. So obviously we've got to make a stance now that we don't appreciate them in the club. So our voices have got to be heard, because obviously that with the Super League and everything else, when our voices were heard, the withdrawal happened quickly. I just hope the first thing that the new owners do, and it won't be the Ricketts, is get rid of Mr. Buck, because I think he's part of the problem as well.
100%.
He needs to go. He's got no business here anymore. It's been a PR disaster from day one. So bye bye, Mr. Buck. Go off and make your buck somewhere else.
Yeah. I hope that happens. I sincerely do.
Exactly. Yeah. And just a quick last comment on the match. Like yesterday, or 2 days ago, I think around about Easter, we become the charity club, don't we? Because we tend to give away a thrashing at home to a lower league side. We did it with West Bromwich Albion last year. I think a day after, we've done it with Manchester, with who's at Brentford. But what we'll do, we always bounce back. And Real Madrid at the moment are saying that Chelsea are the club out of the 3 English clubs that they would have preferred to play against. If you remember last season, they beat Liverpool but lost to Chelsea. So I hope that message is pinned up on the team wall tomorrow. I mean, on Wednesday when we play them. And
I hope so too.
Yeah, this is a team, because they think that we're beatable and easy. So let's just go and do to them what we did to them last year, and just give them a schooling home and away.
100%, Nate.
Okay.
Big up to you.
All right, so big up to
everyone
on the panel, and so
thank you, Max. I hope to see you next time. Nick, will you take a minute, your final thoughts and any messages?
Yeah, like I said before, trust you, Roman. I've been saying, you heard it from Max as well. You shouldn't be worried too much, because Roman will make the right choice. He always does. And about N'Golo Kante, he ain't going nowhere. That's all media rubbish as usual. He loves Chelsea like Rudiger does. I'm just hoping the new owners, will give Rudiger what he wants so he can stay. And Kante, I don't think he wants to leave Chelsea. That's all rubbish. I can't see it happening. He's happy where he is. And I'm just waiting. I'm waiting. Yeah, I'm waiting to see what the outcome comes up with these meetings with Ricketts this week. And if we have to go out there, we will. There's no problem. I'll go anytime they call me. I'm there. I just hope. But I hope the rest of the fan base, get off their arses and get up the bridge, and show what we all want, because they're not doing it right now.
Yeah, thank you very much for that. And we'll get a chance tomorrow to talk if there's any need to plan further protests. But I think Max made a point that's very important. Roman legacy at Chelsea is, excellent right now. So selling the club to the Ricketts will mean the Chelsea fans will almost always come back, no matter how it went down, even if we argue that the process was corrupt before they emerged, the new owners, the fans will always come back. You sold us to these guys, so it was your fault. So I don't think he'd risk it. And hopefully he's not poorly educated on the background of these guys, like I'm suspecting he would be. I hope that's not the case. But if he's well educated and well acquainted with the issues and why the fans are pushing back, I think we will be just fine. And I want to say, John Farley, I hope I said your name correctly. I think this is the first time I'm saying you here. If you haven't, please do subscribe to the channel and like the video, and check us out tomorrow. The Blue Morning Show is a daily show, and it's a marathon version at this point because we have so much to talk about given the situation that our club has found ourselves in. DJ, any final thoughts from you on the topic of the day?
No, everything we've been saying, and like Max came on and Nick we shouldn't really worry. As I said, I still don't think the Ricketts will end up getting Chelsea, despite whatever they're trying to do. I don't think they will be the owners. I think the voices will be heard. But whether it's a protest, whether we're going on social media, whether we're going wherever it may be, the voices will be heard. And as I said, I can obviously get down to the protest on Saturday because of whatever reasons, but I will obviously try get to another one if I can, if another one does come up again. But yeah, what Nick said and everyone else is saying, I'm not worried. I don't think they're going to get us. I think we will get good owners, but it won't be them. So I'm not stressing. And going to the Madrid game about the Madrid game on Wednesday. Look, it was a one-off game, like Max said as well. We did the same thing against West Brom last season, and we all know what happened after that. We went on to win the Champions League after that. So I'm not really worried about it. Maybe it was something we actually needed, a kick in the backside. Maybe learning not to take teams too lightly. And obviously, when you start a back four with a team that's been on international duty and coming back and playing a back four, not the right idea to prepare for a match. That's all I can say on that one. So I think we'll learn from it. We'll have a good game against Real Madrid on Wednesday, and we go on. All the fans out there, don't worry about the Ricketts. As I said, I don't think they're going to be the next owners. We'll see sense in the end.
Yeah, I think you make a great point. Again, Max has reassured me with his calm voice and his calmness during this period because I've been suffering and we all have been suffering. I forgot how Bobby put it yesterday. And also, we've been exhausted also. But if anything, the loss against Brentford, it's a wake-up call. It happened just on time before the Madrid game, and I think we'll do better against Real Madrid. So thank you very much, DJ, for that great input. Declare your thoughts before we say goodbye.
Goodbye. What's there to say? We've been saying the same things. We've been worried about the same things. We still haven't got any new information. I mean, the Ricketts put out 8 points and doesn't mean anything. I'm kind of surprised that actually people read this and go, well, the Ricketts are looking very good. I even brought up another question that I had. Why are the Ricketts, if they're the minor shareholder, why are they in there? I mean, every day new information comes out. You expect we get answers. I'm getting more questions. So I hope what Nick said. I hope Nick's right. And I think everyone else said that too, that Roman does choose and that Roman wouldn't want his legacy
to be ruined.
To be ruined. And so I can hold on that hope and say we're not going to get this group and we're going to get the right people. And I hope so, because it's been worrying and it affects me. I know it doesn't, but it affects me when I watch games and that. Because I want some. There's a massive uncertainty in the air. And then, you watch the game and it just reminds you of that uncertainty. What's going to happen? I mean, we don't even know what's going to happen to some of the players because of the owner. So I would like some clarity. That's all I want.
Yeah, but we all cannot, be confident given what I think Max. I think since we've talked about this, nobody. I think this is the first time we're hearing it from the perspective of Roman's legacy at Chelsea, which is almost excellent. So, and he wouldn't want that to be ruined. He wouldn't want any time in the future the fans will come back and say, "Well, you were there. You let the clubs, you let them sell our club to these people." He wouldn't want that to happen. And hopefully he's not poorly educated. Hopefully he's well acquainted with the background of these guys. They come with too much baggage, bad enough that it's some potential sponsors will distance themselves from Chelsea because it's too much. Again, I'm going to repeat this. If you remember the case of Ousmane Dembele, it is just one incident, a racist him and Antoine Griezmann did in Japan, and Rakitic had to reach out to Barcelona and say, "You got to say something here. What's going on?" But this case, the Ricketts family, it's one thing after the other. It's against calling the black people, you people. Comments about Islamophobia, comments the way they treat their employees, and so on and so on. It just goes on. We can talk about it tomorrow, and we will not finish, talking about it again. And one thing we must also understand that the 8-point pledge, it's a pledge. A pledge sounds more formal than promise. It is no different. It doesn't differ much from a promise, which means they are not obliged to fulfill it. So again, it's not signed like Max mentioned here. It's not an agreement. You can't hold them to account. That is accountable if at the end they didn't do any of those things. And with that, I say thank you to Declare, DJ Sub, Max for finding time, Max from Button Ballers for finding time to join. And please make sure to go check Max's YouTube channel. Believe me, you will like it. Same as Nick Blue, respects to you. Please do follow these accounts. They have presence on Twitter. Make sure you follow them all. And to everybody in the chat, this is a statement you make in a phone, not a fax. Yes, say thank you to you all. Phrase all, PJ, who joined us late, but better late than never. Hamsmaster, the Queen herself, Mikhail, the Queen herself, which is Just Viola, Jay the Boy. I thank you all. You guys provide great value, and I hope to see you guys tomorrow for another Blue Morning show. From me, I say bye, and God bless us all. Thank you.
All right, big up everyone.